one thing I know that doesn't make them all there is because not all Mercedes-Benzes are open here. Every time I find like a poor driver, it's somebody in a Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, of course.
9 times out of 10, if somebody pisses me off, they're in a Mercedes.
I don't know one car from the next, so I'm clueless.
And the funny thing is, the first car I ever drove was a Mercedes. But it was like one of them old tanky style, like the turbo diesel, like that was like probably like a mid-70s.
Yeah, it weighed like 6,000 pounds.
Yeah, I think it was a tank.
You don't sound like that.
It was just riding in the car with Sicky all the way up and down. She was like the whole way. It's like you can't help but catch something if you ride with somebody in the same car for like.
Did you guys switch driving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so we were like, she'd drive for a couple hours and I'd drive. Usually, like wherever we needed to stop and get gas, we'd switch.
Yeah.
But made it not quite so bad.
Yeah.
Kind of crash out, close your eyes for a bit, and wake up and be like, we're almost in the Vegas and we'll take over Vegas and California or whatever.
We look at all the snacks.
A little easier if you can do that when you swap drivers.
Swapping drivers, swapping sexy drivers.
They're at the perfect thing where the inside is kind of melty, so you can just kind of suck it out. What? I have a problem.
That's not a problem.
Sucking's not a problem. I've been sucking my whole life.
Gift, but not a problem.
Maybe 5 more minutes before my mom's out.
Sorry.
Sucking is never a bad thing.
Oh my god.
That's like it's still cold. It's kind of melty. It's like you bite into it, and it's like. My favorite. It's my favorite
like
kind
an
of.
apricot or something.
It's blood orange.
That's an orange.
It's blood orange. They're mochi.
It does squirt right in your mouth.
It's like rice gummy.
Squirty, squirty, squirty.
Have you ever had mochi?
Squirty, squirty, squirty.
Rachel's given me something like that before.
I like the regular ones, not the ice cream. The ice cream was okay, but I like the World Market has all the different ones.
Yeah. I like the beans and stuff too. Sweet beans.
Yeah.
Those are good too.
He woke up from his nap and he actually ate dinner.
Good.
All these people are
Evidently, he liked the sausage with Rachel this morning too.
Just sausage fingers all day, just little oily fingers all over. I took off my pink shirt when I got home, and I was all like, oh.
Oh my God! Look at all those nipple rings. Those greasy little. Oh wait, no, those are greasy fingers, not nipples. Nipples. Oh. Oh yeah, shoulder snot smears are a constant since he got sick.
He loves the belly wipes too. Just roll my nose across your belly. Just.
Oh, it was like he was being lovey-dovey with me. He was like leaning in to give me kisses, and snot pouring down his lip.
We did that when you were sitting on
Yeah.
the chair. There was this.
I didn't try to kiss you, man.
It wasn't you. It was that other man I'm in love with, Sebastian.
No, that is my birthday gift from Rachel.
Oh my god! It looks like it comes from the back.
They're nice, right?
Because of your watch. But yeah.
Where'd you get that from?
She likes pocket watches, so I
Which one's a
had to
pocket?
get one that had.
Is that a D&D pocket watch?
It has little tiny dice in it.
It's got a D20 on the top, and then it's got little metal dice.
Being a D20 on top is always
Pull them all
important.
out, you can use that as the dice tray. The teeny
Uh-huh.
tiny dice tray.
Oh, it rolled 4.
I think dice, but I think you have even tinier dice, or you have tinier dice. Somebody,
It rolled a 14.
yeah, somebody has a
I have
dice.
tiny dice.
Yeah, they're even smaller than those.
No, I think they're about the same
They're
size.
Even the grumpy oldest man is back. The oldest of the grumps.
Trying to save
Willa just went into a cave.
You
with
don't
a
have to
satyr.
save me. I'm
Okay, we all run and leave real quick.
This is fine, guys. There's nothing wrong with this.
Except for
Yeah.
the voice of reason currently still in her branches, 3 inches tall, with a bald head.
That's right. You're all tiny and
Yeah, why are you tiny again?
Wild magic.
Oh, that's right. You guys finally.
You're your dick man.
That's right. Wild magic now because of the sundering. That's right.
You floated in the air. You're like hovering up like a balloon.
Who's a balloon?
I was.
He was.
I was.
Oh,
I
yeah, that's
landed again, though.
right.
He got the good roll. He got 3 hours. I got 3 days.
Yeah, you're like 9 inches tall or something like that.
3 inches tall.
3 inches
with a
tall
bald
for
head.
3 days.
Bald
Yeah.
head.
All your spells do like 1 point of damage.
Fireball!
Oh, I got double damage. You do 2 points of
No,
damage.
currently I'm the most dangerous thing there is. Like currently Willa's conscience on the side.
good luck.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
pretty
a good-
dangerous.
You know, if you think about it, she's Jiminy Cricket and I'm Pinocchio right now.
Please.
I don't know if you're capable of lying, though, so I don't know if that works. You are capable of doing a lot of stupid, so your nose grows every time you do something stupid. So your nose is like 1,000,000 miles long.
Well, I do grow a lot as a tree.
You walked into the castle without like no hesitation.
Yes. It's not like it wasn't a castle, was it?
No,
I thought it was like a cave or something.
It was a fortress that was built on the side of the cliff.
Yeah, so it was like a cave.
Just, well, not.
into the cave first.
Yeah.
Crap. I can't remember. Were the left ones the ones that we
To
used?
the second
Right
place.
one.
I don't know.
Barely missed it in the first
Probably the left
round.
ones.
Should I bother writing down how much our house upkeep is?
The fact that you still think your house is intact is adorable.
Hey.
I highly doubt our house is intact.
You stared at me like, okay, let's hear it, buddy. What are we getting into now?
Our house is overgrown because of the work I was doing in the garden beforehand.
Yeah,
It's
they
come
probably
alive.
burned all of the garden.
It has come alive. And
Not
it's
all
own-
violence is flammable.
It has become its own rodent.
So, where we last left off, the team had journeyed to an old glacial lake known as the Sundered Rim. And while there, they made some discoveries. They had found that the area that they were told was a vault and the inheritance of a particular halfling family.
Who's probably dead.
They discovered that the houses were very run down, the area very much overgrown, almost as if a great deal of time had passed by. But they still investigated the vault, found its entrance, dealt with the automaton guardian that was guarding it. However, something else must have transpired at some point because the guardian had been messed with. And within the internal structure of the construct, a strange kind of kobold-like creature that had been severely altered, turned from whatever its original condition that it was in and augmented and mutated into something else that was seemingly the pilot of this construct. The creature was dealt with, the head stashed for later conversation, and the team began to see these great machines coming across the horizon, these Borkons that were busy boring into the surface of Exandria, seemingly extracting something. And this is when the team had suddenly realized that utilizing the particular ship that they had come in possession of had created a time dilation. Their untrained use of the ship had caused them to travel a year forward in time during their travels to the edge of the glacial lake. The team then discovered that somewhere deep in the mountains north of the Sundered Rim, an old abandoned fortress. They decided to investigate it, which they did. While most of the group stayed on the edge of the forested area, Willa and Bella found themselves pursuing the Centaurs towards the secret chamber or the secret fort. Yes.
Can I add that to that?
Sure.
I remember what happened. Okay,
More chaos.
there was some kind of beacon that led us there. We took
Sure.
a ship to
There
get
was
there.
there was a distress signal.
Yeah, there was a just like
Mhm.
so. Probably the other things knew that when we because they were all connected because we had a conversation with a space person. There was a dragon that was invisible. That was a thing.
Dragon
Mhm.
scales.
Yeah. And now we're going up there to make sure we didn't accidentally, trigger a thing or something. And now their dragon pet is going to be in danger, which is why I'd gone up there.
Sure, that's one version. Fundamentally, the remainder of the group stayed at the forested edge while Willa and Bella began to investigate where the beacon was. Rather than go and fill the rest of you in, they decided to go and speak to the senators.
Oh yeah, I have so much choice in her hair.
It was a consensus thing.
consensus.
Knew what
Was
going
it?
on.
Was it really?
Yeah.
So with that, Willa and Bella had
I'm
went and had a conversation with the senators. The senators seemed to identify her as something called a dryad, felt that she was out of her preserve or her place where she's supposed to be, and took, I don't remember if they knew Bella was there or not. I don't think they did. They
was
then
just
escorted
encouraged.
Willa. Escort might be a bit docile. They encouraged Willa with their sense of come along or else we'll skewer you into the fortress area.
Because they had to twist her arm so hard.
Hmm.
So hard.
Yeah, they just said, "Come in, follow us."
And then there's me going,
Okay.
please come
And
and
she
meet,
said,
come and meet our,
"Okay."
come and meet our leader.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is why you keep getting
Now-
captured.
The four of you are watching as Willa's being escorted. You're assuming Bella is with her. So they're being escorted into the entrance of the abandoned fortress. You guys are down below. You lose sight of her. Is there anything the four of you want to do at this point?
Before she leaves, I want to.
Well,
I want to cast
we did our
message.
best. Let's get back to the
Remember-
ship.
We did what we could.
Fuck, I don't know if I want to cast message. I
Is
don't
it
want to be
gold?
small or flying or hairless. Can you imagine a hairless kitty?
I think they have a name for that, don't they?
Sphinx.
Sphinx. It was a gold dragon. That's what it was. Because I got gold dragon scales. They're clever, neutral, protective, and haven't been seen in almost 200 years.
And it was assumed to be young.
Because of the size of it. And it was pretty much just hiding in the trees. Because the trees are
Like it just legs.
And we were
Right.
questioned by the agent William,
Conker.
and we convinced him we were agents William. Conker.
How far are you going back?
We have
No,
to
in the spaceship we
Yeah, we convinced him.
with the raven pin.
because we showed the raven pin to the other alien.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a cobalt.
Yeah, you left us alone.
We said we were a secret mission.
All right, so I say we rescue Willa and then we go back to the ship and try and see if we can go back in time using the ship.
The hardest part's gonna be getting into the cave unless
Oh,
we figure
right.
it. Yeah, because there's no cover.
Hardest part's going to be getting into the cave, not trying to go back in time.
Because going back in time is easy.
Put it in reverse and we'll go back to
Yeah, I like that idea.
We go back to
Get
the
in
moon.
reverse.
We go to the dark side of the moon. I'm sure that'll fix everything.
No. You just
You're not there. You're captured.
I'm not captured.
Superman-
I'm going to
Superman
talk with their leader.
go backwards. We'll go in the bug, go back like Superman, go around.
Right. Yeah. We'll make the planet turn backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Because a little bug can completely do that.
Superman can do it. That little bug can do
Superman can do it. Like Flash could totally do it.
it. Flash is done.
Exactly.
That's the whole premise of the new movie too. is him
See, this is what
changing
happens when you bring
timelines.
aliens.
There was a
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're assuming they're aliens, but that's fine. It's all fine. So what are the four of you doing? You've lost track of Willa at this point.
How far up is the?
About a quarter mile. You're at the edge of the forest. You had watched her walk out and have the conversation with the centaurs, and then they just kind of led her up.
And we couldn't hear the conversation.
No, because they led her up a long path. They were too far away to really be able to listen in. And they were, well, once again, you're assuming that Belle is with her. The two of them were led up the long path, a windy path that led up to the front. Like the fortress is like kind of like the Anasazi, adobe complex. It's built in the side of a cliff. It's very much built like that. So you watch them go into a cave-like entrance, but the facade is just this old abandoned fortress, this stone, like just bluff side fortress.
How many centuries did they leave behind?
In front, you could see maybe a couple, and then down on the main path, there's two senators just kind of keeping an eye on the area where they had discovered Willa. They don't seem to feel like they're under threat. They're just kind of keeping an eye, almost like they were surprised to find anyone here.
And our magic items aren't magic anymore? Or are magic items still magic? I can't remember.
I can give that a test. I'll hold up my magic eye and see what I can see. See what,
Yeah, but
how
that
it
had to detect
shows.
active magic.
They seem to still be magical.
Are they?
The items still seem to be magical. So far, certain spells don't seem to be working, while other spells seem to be kind of chaotic.
It's only in this area though, because we didn't have a problem with the fight, right?
Mhm.
What?
As far as you remember, when the fight took place,
What did you cast?
I think I cast invisibility
And you
and I flew. Floated.
floated.
Like a balloon.
Yeah, just swelled and floated up in the air for a little while, and then eventually.
No, you're like the snake from Shrek.
I'm picturing Harry Potter's hand.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's way better.
I was thinking of a floating more version of the blueberry girl from the candy
Willy Wonka.
factory. Yeah.
Okay. Your worst floats
What is
one.
that?
Violet, you're
What were you
Violet.
thinking?
No, no.
Violet, you're Violet.
What did you cast?
I tried to summon my guardian spirit.
Some of your guardian spirit. Okay. So that's both
Arcane.
arcane and the summoning
Please
the
say
guardian
magic.
spirit. Summoning the guardian spirit is divine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was arcane and divine both at once.
And my natural stuff was fine, but I didn't really try any my other spells, so nothing really happened to me.
You didn't cut it.
You're not there.
Wait, did you grow?
Just
I'm trying to remember what we
It's been a few weeks. Let's do a little
I
meta.
was just
That's fine.
trying to remember what we cast.
Your natural pigeons.
Well, as you and Bella are brought into the hallway entrance, the four senators guiding you into the space.
This is a nice place you have here.
Quiet, please. I'm not used to our trees talking. Don't want to scare the children.
I'm sorry.
You're still talking.
You're welcome.
Why do you continue to talk? Oh, he just kind of like, just kind of growls in your general direction, guides you through the hallway, and
As we see all of the centaurs flee
children.
out of the just abandon the entire
Mass
castle
migration.
structure.
Mass migration.
they bring you into this giant common space. It feels like a interior court of, but there's pinpoints of light kind of leaking through, like maybe air shafts that are burrowed deep up in the rockscape above you. And what you saw in the exterior, you're now seeing interior carvings of buildings and like there's like this 4-story structure carved into the rock, and then a 2, and then a single story. It's like all these structures carved in, and you're seeing all these strange creatures. You're seeing Herodins and creatures that look like they're half humanoid and half hippopotamus, and some creatures that look half human and half rhino. Some that look, you watch as these strange creatures that look like they're almost like insect-like creatures, kind of like staring at you strangely with these eyes and antennae that just kind of natter and click together as you walk by. And there's variations of ages. Give me a history check to see if you can recognize a different group that you see off to your left.
Okay, so 21.
21. Oh shit, I forgot about my tablet was running. Can you hand me the tablet behind you that's plugged in and open?
I know this is gonna be a weird question, but she had like a hollow point. Is she technically hollow inside too?
Most would say she's hollow through and through.
I'm a tree, man. I'm sure I've got some.
The head portion, yes.
There's a giant empty head knot behind her.
You look through the knot hole and you see the holes where her eyes are.
A mask-like face, right? I'm all like.
Well, technically, I don't have eyes, and I just have like these like.
That's true. You do have
buds
blind
that-
sight.
Yeah, the flower buds that like mimic what eyes look like, or kind of cover.
And just look through fake ones.
So basically, you could crawl inside my skull, and it would be no problem.
Ew.
Actually, you know that would be a good idea. Is there like an open?
What a
Can I try to
horrible-
find?
Oh my god, she crawls into the knot behind your head, and she uses one of your blind sight sockets to just kind of sit there and stare out of it, like
So I can see all the
looking and
creatures
seeing
there.
everything that you see. And
Whatever you do, don't shoot
what'd you
me,
get for your
man.
history check?
I got 21.
You recognize that there's a tribe of Githyanki here, astral seafarers, and you recognize the Harrigans, which are part rabbit, part humanoid. There are a lot of fey creatures here that look like they've taken on a lot of humanoid features.
You said part rabbit, part what?
Part human. It's a humanoid rabbit, basically, a Harrigan.
I have a bloodthirsty one I made.
Of course you did.
It was based on the Monty Python bunny.
Of course. Was there a
She's a
wizard
blood
named
hunter.
Tim?
Mara's already gone. I get so many comments. Morrow's my man. That's how you play D&D. Both ears open and both eyes closed.
Paying attention 100%.
You see using your shirt?
Oh yeah.
Me and bad decisions. Yeah, that's
So true.
You can't see the drinking. Must
So there's a large variety of what you would consider astral creatures and fey creatures here. And printed in what could only be described as like a magical script at the very back of the interior runes of the fortress is a giant word that says sanctuary.
Is there like a girl with like a purple dress going around screaming for sanctuary?
No, but a silver-skinned dragonborn begins to approach the two of you. She is wearing strange garments that you haven't seen before. They look very strange. They're made of leather, but she has these like epaulets on her shoulders. She seems to kind of bear resemblance to some of the imagery that you've seen of, well, to a certain degree, she's kind of wearing a uniform, just different colors, different representation than what the kobold was wearing that you found, the mutated kobold. He was wearing kind of like a strange kind of jumper leather outfit as well. And she's got glasses on. She's got this strange, confused look on her face as she stares at you, Willa. And as she gets closer, she brings a journal out from her belt and holds it tightly to her chest. Why have you left your preserve? Why are you here?
I'm here because I was with friends and there were metal things and there was this beacon and it brought me here.
How did you have the ability to understand that the beacon was broadcasting? The beacon only broadcasts out to those that are astral dwellers.
Well,
It was your friends. It was your friends.
I'm not absolutely sure.
It's
I
like
was just following
not
friends.
even listening to her inner conscious.
It was your friends. It was your friends. Willa.
When you say your friends, are there more of you here like you? Or
They're not exactly like me. They're friends, and we saw your encampment far, and we didn't.
Jermaine,
We didn't
go
want
and
you
seek
to-
them out and bring them here immediately.
We didn't
They
want
may
you
not
to-
linger out there. They will cause problems. If those boar machines travel outside the preserve looking for them,
We
it'll be a
just-
hassle. Go, Jermaine. Find them.
They might be violent. We didn't want to be violent.
No.
That's why I came
Say
first.
we are not violent. No.
It's like, Will is telling the truth, and your conscience is trying to convince you to lie.
So is this a reverse Pinocchio? I can't lie in my conscience.
All right.
We did not come
Quick
here
note,
for violence, Willa.
never team those two up. Ever,
Okay.
ever again. Okay.
Try to find a brain and try to
So the
shake
two
it.
of you
We're not there for
are, are in this conversation with this
I'm basically saying, like,
dragonborn.
approach them like,
Cautiously.
cautiously, because they sent me ahead because we
Jermaine,
didn't want you to think we were violent.
convince them to come here, please.
Oh god, you're gonna die.
Yes, ma'am. And the senator takes like 5 other senators with them, and they trundle out the front.
What?
For those of you out front, you watch coming out of the main entranceway into the fortress, the additional senators coming out. One of them you recognize is one that Willa had traveled with. They make their way down, and they catch the attention of the 2 senators. And then now there are 7 senators.
Willa just ratted us out.
There are 7 senators in the open glade where Willa met with them. And one particular senator, we know you're here. Your friend has told us that you are here. We only look to preserve the integrity of the boundary of the preserve. Sanctuary is threatened. My mistress has asked me to ask you to please come inside the fortress. Are you here? And can you hear me? And he's like looking at the edge of the forested area.
I'll step forward.
I'll step forward with
come out.
Ivory.
Anybody else out there?
Come on, you big
Are you
lug.
gonna hide? Are you gonna still hide?
Yeah, I'll come out. Speaking orc, like not
You
understanding
notice
much
all
of
the
it.
senators stare at you with just these faces of shock and surprise. They all stagger back as they see you, and they all look at each other awkwardly. And you don't speak their language, so they murmur amongst each other. And the lead senator, like very cautiously, approaches, at first walks by Jade, and then walks by Zephora and Scarlet, and approaches you. What is your name, sir?
Narrow?
We were not aware that any of your kind were left. They were all exterminated during the sundering. This has gotten most interesting. My name is Jermaine Clovenfoot. Please, all of you, follow me, if you would, please.
Do they speak Elvish?
What are they
Try 'em
speaking?
out.
I speak Elvish.
What are they speaking?
The Sylvan we do speak.
That's what I
As Jermaine looks at you.
What is Clovenfoot?
Cloven hoof. I thought it was.
Is it hoof or
I heard cloven foot.
Clovenfoot. would be the name of the tribe. So it's Jermaine Clovenfoot is usually how they surname themselves.
Is this the gentleman
Do they
that
speak
Willa
common?
was annoying?
Correct.
Do they speak common?
Yes, we do speak common.
Well, how do we understand to come out?
They were asking. They were talking in common when they were.
When they came out, yeah.
Okay.
They assumed that you spoke common. Although I would say they switch frequently between Sylvan and common. But they, like, as they kind of guide you guys towards the path to follow them up towards the entrance, 5 of the senators are speaking in their own language, just shocked at Morrow's presence. They seem like you don't even need to make an insight roll. They are stunned that there's an orc here.
Tell me that, like, we gotta kill one more and then there's none.
No.
I don't think they tried. They weren't the ones killing them.
He's gonna become their studies when he's gonna be overbred.
Oh
We'll have
darn!
a bunch of half orcs.
No, that'd be good half.
Are you a half orc or are you a half orc?
He's half orc.
Half
Yeah.
Half orc.
It'll be Orcitar. It'll be an Orcitar.
An Orcitar.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll be quarter orcs.
Eventually, Thea and Bella, you can hear your friends kind of nattering with each other and talking as they're brought into the same chamber that you're currently
I know
in.
what he read.
And then, what?
You said Thea.
Whoa, sorry, Willa. She has so many
We're all
names.
rusty, folks. It's been a long.
So many names.
What's the worst? One of them ends with an A.
So as they come in, as you guys are led into the chamber, everything I described for them, you guys can now see, and it's a massive interior. I mean, you could basically a small city inside this back end of this huge cliff. You don't see Bella, but you see Willa having a pretty intense conversation with a dragonborn, silver-skinned, wearing an interesting kind of leather jumpsuit. She looks past Willa and goes, the rest. And she stops as soon as she sees Morrow. By the gods. And then looks at Jermaine. You better get Quelf down here now. Yes, ma'am. And you watch as Jermaine kind of canters up towards a pathway that's taken him deeper into the fortress dwelling.
They call this the preserve or
The sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
They described where you guys came from as the preserve.
But in the back wall, you'll see.
Hello, good
Hi.
people. My name is Vetrix. It's a pleasure to meet you. You interest me. I can understand your dryad friend wandering from the preserve, but
I'm a tree.
yes, she keeps saying that. She's quite adult.
She's never remembered her past.
I
Oh.
remember plenty. I just don't know if it's real.
I remember plenty. I just don't know if it's real or not. That's a t-shirt.
That's totally a t-shirt. I remember plenty. I just don't know if it's real.
Okay.
That was good.
That would actually work.
Dude, go to one of the t-shirt Etsy
Right.
stores.
Mm-hmm.
I remember plenty. And on the back, just don't know if it's real.
I'm gonna come back out the front and I'm gonna wave over to Jay.
So as Willa turns to look at all of you as you come in, you see a tiny little Bella in her left eye socket doing this to let you know that she's still there.
You want me to- I'll take
I don't
Willa.
feel safe from there.
I'll take Willa out of. I mean, I'll take Bella out of Willa's eye socket.
What?
And I'll put her on my shoulder.
She.
Did your friend's brain just come out and go onto your shoulder?
No, it's another friend.
She
How?
actually shrunk.
Hi.
You people are quite strange.
Well,
You're not members of the preserve, are you?
no.
What is the preserve? I don't
That
even know what
depends.
you're talking
Are you
about.
friendly?
The preserve is the buffer between sanctuary and the new masters of this world. Those that were not eradicated during the Sundering are allowed to remain in the preserve. I'm not surprised to see Tabaxi here, or Elvins as well. Sylvans are known to the preserve. Dryads, however, are not allowed in the preserve. Your masters might be interested in understanding where you are. As far as those that are extinct, I am at a quandary. No, not stink. Oh my, they haven't changed even.
No.
He is an original, isn't he?
How long ago was the sundering?
Sundering was 9 months ago. Well, depends on your perspective.
Is that the machines that are going up and down?
Oh no, the Boricons that you describe, those are owned by a organization called Mechanics. They are not from around here. Unfortunately, some time ago, there was a occurrence in a place called Vasselheim. The occurrence, unfortunately, shattered the world as we know it. The shadow fell and the Fae collided. The shadow moon came into existence and became the void. Oh my.
What is the year?
Well, good. Ma'am
Ma'am.
would be great.
She is a dragonborn.
Yes. Dragonborn Vectra. Pilot Vectra.
What do you pilot?
I pilot a dreadnought.
Why are you here?
I collect lost souls, and I take them to other places of existence. Asteroids, wild space, planets that exist other than here. Unfortunately, Exandria is dying.
Are we free to leave?
Where would you go? Are you happy being on the preserve? Because if you leave the preserve, especially with him, your lives will be in great danger. Mechanics will not allow his kind to remain.
You mean on Exandria?
No, anywhere.
What was the threat that they posed?
They were deemed non-essential.
By who?
Did Jerry's report make it that far? Wow. Holy shit. I didn't know.
It's not a matter of whom, it's more of a matter of a what. The Oracle of the Mechanics is a fascinating thing.
Are you the Oracle?
I have no idea. Where am I?
The Mechanics are led by an organization called the Grey.
Oh,
Grey are
Okay, yes.
entities
Then
that have brought very unique things to our world since the period that we call the Sundering. When the Shadow Moon transformed itself due to the collision of the Fae and the Fell, it created the Great Void. The Void allowed the Grey to find their way here. They've established an asteroid location near the Void, and now they administer what they call Planet Number 154 XR32. Planet number 154
You knew.
XR32.
hey, I don't know where my reports go after I
What
put
did
in-
you do?
telepathically send them.
So, are any of you magical creatures by chance?
Yes.
Who here bears the weight of magic? Please. 4 of you. Very well. Take these. And she hands you 3 little necklaces with little tiny stones on them.
Can I get an insight on this?
Like,
If you want, go
what do
for
they
it.
do?
They allow magic to work for you.
Oh well.
Does it also imprison you and prevent you from,
So,
leaving?
It'll
or
stop
doing
you
things?
turning into a tiny person.
Oh, is that what happened to her?
Yeah.
It's a wonder she didn't explode into a million pieces. She should count her
Is
graces.
that what happens when you roll a 100?
I'm sorry, roll a what? Why would you roll? Just don't do magic without these. Just put on the fucking stones that will keep you from blowing us all up.
So
What
if
about
we're-
magical items?
Magical items do seem to do tolerably well now on Exandria, and they are allowed as long as they are not relics that could pose potential harm to us.
Are you in charge of the planet then?
No, I'm in charge of the sanctuary.
Where everybody's the only people that are alive are at now?
These are people that have chosen not to live on the preserve, and I am gradually finding them new homes through the organization that I work for.
So if we had a way to leave this place, like Exandria,
Yes.
could we?
As long as you have the skill set for astral ferrying, I see no reason why you couldn't. I'm sure if you are in possession of a vessel, I suppose I could find people to help you make sure that it's working properly.
Where is there to go?
It depends on where you choose to go. I mean, once the sea covered all of Wildmont, most of Taldori and the survivors of Vasselheim have come here. We don't know much yet of Marquette. Our understanding is that there was quite a earthquake there that sundered the entirety of its region. Now it's believed to be nothing more than a simple chain of islands.
Look at the ice plains. What's that area?
Like,
So,
The area that we were supposed to
oh
go
my god.
to.
Oh my god, hold on.
well, I meant more of like, if we're not here on this
Rimfang.
planet,
Rimfang.
or whatever you call it, where is there other places to go to live somewhere?
Most of the places that we know about are named asteroids, surviving chunks of worlds that have succumbed to the mechanics organization. The Grey are sometimes tolerable, but not always easy to get along with. You do notice, of course, that we have a contingent of Githyanki here, masters of the astral sea. You kind of look around, you can see a good 3 or 4 dozen Githyanki kind of gathered amongst themselves, staring very suspiciously in your guys' direction.
Do we know what good thank you?
Give me a history check.
She knows.
Bella's still 3 inches tall, so
Wait,
She's
I'm
on
just
my
trying to-
shoulder. 19.
19. Who's doing an insight on the stones? You or what'd you get?
13.
13. She seems genuine, but she's probably holding a lot back. She's testing to see
How much we know.
know whether or not you guys are real.
Is there any chance that if putting this on, I won't be able to take it off? Is what I'm looking for.
It looks like it's removable.
Okay, because I don't want something to permanently seal me
Okay.
from doing things.
Do you put it on?
She's gonna wait for us to put it on.
Well,
I already put mine
yeah,
on.
Scarlett put hers on already. The stone flared a bit like a yellow blue and then settled again.
Not Scarlet.
Sephora.
Scarlet doesn't do magic.
Is there a magic working Sephora?
Magic missile.
I'm not going to burn a
It might.
spell
Magic.
so I can find out if this trinket works.
Don't you have cantrips? Jinx.
I'm not going to waste my time.
Okay, fine. I will put it on.
Okay.
Flares. And then I'm gonna cast message.
Who do you cast it to?
Never mind. I'm just gonna cast light.
Glows in your
Is there a
hand.
hair? I'm looking at my tail.
Other than the 9-foot long armpit hair. No, I'm just kidding. Just the coin that's in your hand kind of glows with the focus of the light. Seems to work fine.
Okay. Turn the light off. And take the necklace off.
Doesn't work the next. Well, if you try to cast again, I need you to roll D100.
No. I take the necklace off.
Okay.
You can take that. Okay, fine.
I'm just gonna hold on to it, put it on, and then you
Okay. That's fair. Vexina kind of looks. You could call me Vex for short. Or Vecna. Your choice.
That was my mission right out the window.
All of our missions.
What mission is this? I must admit, the attire that you're wearing, traveling with an orc, I am confused.
We're missing a little bit of time.
Yeah.
We traveled from the city to
You
here,
used one of the Void Moon vessels, didn't you?
maybe.
Mechanics had cataloged the entirety of the Void Moon, and it discovered some things missing from it.
Hmm,
Like what?
That's strange.
interesting.
A vessel, items that were cataloged for later use. They currently have a particular individual in their care. that is giving them all the information they need to understand about how to use the secret lab and the dissection of the great dreadnought creature that's there.
Don't look at me.
Just stare at you, bitch. Just go to that.
It's not me. It's not
He
Sephora.
wasn't,
It's Jerry.
Jerry wasn't there with us.
It's some member of an organization of the Helix or something. I don't know. The White Lion
Oh.
is what they call him.
Oh.
Evidently, he was in possession of some rare artifact that
I can still
he
be
knew how it
patient.
worked, and because it worked, they were able to maintain and control a device in Vasselheim that caused the sundering.
Crap.
So we need to go back to the we need to go back to the ship. Or we need to go back to the
Give me where the necklaces and extra
Mhm.
yeah, we need to go back to
Oh yes, of course. And hands, it's normal size. Hands it to you. It's like huge in your hands. The moment that you put it on, the effect fades,
Ow.
and you slide right off of
Freaking dwarf
Jade's
head.
shoulder and
Ow.
onto the
Some of my fur.
onto the ground.
Look at me like, dwell, miss, dwell. Dwell amongst myself, bigot.
This is very strange. Two outlawed creatures at the same time.
Wait, dwarves are outlawed too?
They are, along with gnomes. Dwarves, gnomes, and orcs are to be dealt with immediately upon sight.
Please don't kill our friends.
That's why we're called the Sanctuary. We find you a way off of this horrid planet.
So it's on the. As long as we get off the planet, then they're okay.
Depends on if you run into the Grey. As long as you travel to places that the Grey do not have an established power and they don't have the mechanics there, you should be fine.
Do you know what the Greys look like?
Not really. They are.
Wait, I'm
Some
looking
of my friends have called them little jellyfish-like creatures. Others said they look more reptilian. I would say, for the most part, no one's actually seen one yet.
Did you see a lot of goats around by chance?
See a lot of what?
Naked goats.
Naked goats. Why would we see naked goats?
Long story.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope your goats will be fine and they find clothing. So what is the intent of you? What are you?
Can we go back to yesterday?
I don't think so, honey.
I don't think you can.
I mean, if we traveled a day and
Well,
lost a year, surely we can go back to yesterday.
we have to find a place where we can.
Are you saying you've suffered time loss?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm pulling out that journal because I don't think I gave it to anyone.
No. So,
We also have a box that we were supposed to deliver and never did.
Yeah, we're gonna be opening up that.
It's like decomposed fruit. It's like a rare plant that
If it's a
that
gift,
could have
it's a
been
gift
used to like
basket.
save the world.
No, it's a gift
It's now
basket.
rotted.
It's a gift basket.
It's a
full
good
of
thing
seeds.
I'm a tree and I can probably use this.
I'm gonna go into my bag and I'm gonna pull out the book, that journal that's titled The Grey.
Okay.
And it had pictures on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
In it. Sorry, pictures
In it.
of like
halflings.
It's basically a book, I believe, from the Golden Ravens that was a detailed
Dissection.
vivisection and dissection manual of a creature they call the Grey.
That looks surprisingly like Jerry.
Weird.
and I'm gonna
And they had halfling parts, remember?
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I didn't keep the halfling parts. I gave the halfling parts to some. I think I gave the halfling parts to Jerry.
I still remember the finger I made that
Yeah,
deteriorated in
but
the
we
jar.
gave that to Jerry. And I'm gonna look through that book. And I'm gonna look at the guys and I'm gonna say, I think Jerry was a Grey.
I think he was weird.
It says a lot coming from Willa.
I wonder what her
You, that's-
definition is.
Well, I mean, compared to me, he was exactly like me.
And this
You
is
guys
the
call
thing
me
that
weird all the time.
you
Now let's deal with the large gorilla in the room. You must return, Dryad, to your location. If they discover you are gone, it will put everything in jeopardy.
She
She's not
wouldn't have been
right.
cataloged, so they wouldn't be missing her.
Oh, that's right. Time.
She's a one-off.
Interesting. That would also explain your friend, your orc friend here, including your dwarf friend here as well. I can guarantee you one thing. These three avoid the gray and the mechanics at all costs.
What do the mechanics look like?
We call them that because they are augmented individuals.
We already killed one.
You did what?
Well, if it was a
I don't think it was.
Wait.
was
What
just
did you
like-
say?
Love the
It was a
head.
cobalt
You killed
looking
one.
thing.
what was a kobold?
Oh,
that
show
had,
her the
like,
head.
A couple
Show her the
arms
head.
and a couple legs.
I have the
Yeah.
head.
Show her the head.
We pull out
Don't
the
ask
head.
it questions.
Pull
Do
out
not
the head.
ask it questions.
And the head.
Why does it have remaining questions
Yes.
still?
Yeah, all of them.
Just she looks. Oh, the gods! You've killed one.
But no, it's still kind of it's dead. But no, we're just gonna put it back in the box there.
Well, I took the rest of the
What is wrong with you?
It attacked us.
It attacked us.
But why would you kill one?
Because it attacked
It
us.
attacked us
Where did you find it?
by the sundered
Well,
peaks.
A couple miles from here.
Over by the glacial lake near the sundered
Yeah.
rim.
Yeah.
Yes.
The poison ick.
Yes,
Not
that
very-
place is quite poisonous now.
Water was not good.
No, it exploded.
Yeah, exploded.
It tasted gross.
Yeah, she's
So-
right.
The lake exploded.
Oh, well. Anyways, this is all too much for me. Please follow me to my.
Really good alcohol. You need a drink.
Do you want
Oh, I'm sorry. We don't allow that here.
I said nothing. There's nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. You can't tell a
Never
dwarf
mind.
cannot have
Oh no,
alcohol.
the Grey have determined that the making and consumption of any beverage of alcohol is forbidden.
Jerry.
Sorry.
Might explain
I
the great.
only wrote my report.
That might explain the great moonshine wars of the dwarves and the
Moonshine
and the
Make a
gnomes.
fortune with that. Read bills.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right. We can open the first bar.
Oh.
That's the sundering.
I have a
We'll call
bottle
it the
of,
sundered bar.
I have a bottle of
We're staying-
Craig's
Oh my God, that's
whiskey.
great.
I have a bottle of Craig's
Welcome to the
whiskey.
Sundered
That's
bar.
right. You have the
Bottle of
Craig's
fulfillment.
whiskey, don't
We
you?
have only one kind of drink here.
We stay in the sanctuary and we
And we can only serve 20 people a day.
That's 1,000 gold pieces a shot.
Yeah.
back then.
So you guys begin to follow Vexa,
Yeah, just a tiny
through the
bit
crowd.
would be fine.
and there's lots of onlookers. People just kind of gawking at you. Most of them are staring at Bella and Morrow, just shocked to see them. Eventually, you get through the main crowd and you get towards a squat, carved out stone structure that has two dragonborn guards wearing similar kind of like leather jumpsuits that she's wearing. And as she passes the two of them, please make sure that we're not disturbed. We have a lot to discuss. And she leads you into a very strange interior chamber. There's lighting here, but you're not really sure what the source of the lighting is. There are crystal, like liquid crystal windows everywhere. Strange glyphs and runes that seem to float within the crystalline structures. And there are transparent visual illusions hovering everywhere that you look.
I want to touch the liquid.
Your hand passes through it.
I want to look through with my eye.
Your eye does not pick up any magic. It's just very opaque when you look at it. In the center of the room is a round iron table with no chairs. The Vexa goes to the other side and she hits something on the table, and floating down from above, chairs. Please.
Is it similar to the last one?
Yeah, pretty similar. Now, please, have a seat and let us figure out what the fuck is going on. I need you to tell me everything that's happened up to this point.
Insight check.
Give me an insight check.
Is this are these chairs like these kind of chairs where they pivot?
They pivot, but they don't have bases.
17.
They just float.
Can I?
Yeah, you're currently spinning
17.
17. She seems desperate. She seems hopeful at the same time.
Okay.
Well, do we tell her everything?
Within reason.
Well, I guess you can tell her more than I can tell her because you can talk about this Jerry fellow.
I'm gonna hold out a cup and be like, "Can I please have some of that drink?" This is
I'm
gonna be a
pull
long
out fire
conversation.
whiskey, a bottle of
What is that?
Water. It's my water. It's totally just my water. I swear.
It's
Give me a
fire
deception check as you're pouring it into her cup.
It's a brown sort of
Yeah.
red fiery liquid.
Yeah.
17? Very well. You may drink your water.
We're gonna do
Oh,
all
you
this.
have water?
I only pour it for Willa.
So question of the day is how much do you guys tell her?
You don't tell her anything that implicates us in any wrongdoing.
So
Every-
nothing.
So you tell her nothing.
Of course, I'm going to interject at every turn and just tell her everything.
So because you didn't fulfill that
Well,
bid,
We started off this year in the dead
fuck
past.
this Scarlet.
And then we were heading
Should
back
have
to
fulfilled that
fucked
contract.
the world. I truly did.
Yeah.
We were heading back to Vasselheim with our friend Jared.
Because they didn't kill the
Devil's
guy I was
Watch.
supposed to kill.
Devil's Watch is where we started.
Devil's Watch.
Devil's Watch.
You're gonna let her tell the story?
No.
Then
Willa, stop.
there were these beetles.
Willa. Willa.
And a wizard.
And a wizard.
That wizard.
That's Wizzy, Allie.
That guy was really.
Annie?
Let the cats tell them.
He was sleeping for like a whole couple hundred years or something. I don't know.
Okay, Willa.
And then people had issues with boulders for some reason.
Shut your knot hole is what she's trying to say.
Oh my
And
god.
let Judy
Mountain
tell the story.
exploded, and we couldn't save the guy.
How about that? How about that?
Zip it, zip, zip it.
Silence.
Wrap her in your spiders.
Her spiders are all dead.
So to summarize,
Hope they're outlawed.
We couldn't save
Do you
him
wanna-
until he died
who?
because he couldn't jump. He got, when we were trying to escape, there was the elevator that was going up, and I got a natural 20 to shove everybody off.
Yeah.
But he rolled a 1, so he got squished.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I wanted to save everyone.
So you're originally from Vasselheim. I get that much.
Yes.
Okay.
About a year ago.
About a year ago. So before the Sundering.
Yes.
Interesting. How did you lose time? That's what I need to understand. How did...
The ship.
That janky ship.
Oh, the
we
void
were
ship.
coming out here to get treasure.
So you weren't masters of it. Therefore, when you used it...
The first time.
Second time.
Second.
Second. The first time we lost.
First time we went to the
First we
moon.
lost a month.
Remember
Well,
the first
actually,
time we
we
went to the
came
moon
back
and
from-
we saw the giant, and then
Thought
we
we-
came back down.
Wait.
and-
You came back from the void
No,
moon.
didn't we get the ship at the moon?
Well, our
Yes,
house had this
yes.
teleport thing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
How did we get up? Oh, the
We teleported.
teleportation.
Teleport out of the
Yes.
house.
We teleported
To
from
the
our
moon.
house to the moon, found the ship, and took the ship.
Yeah.
We saw the giant and everything.
You sure you don't want some? You
The
look like you
dreadnought.
might need some.
This...
Water.
And then we went back, and then we went from there to here, and that's where we lost our year.
Yeah.
You watch as
Supposedly.
another figure walks into the room.
We stopped talking.
As this new figure walks in, you notice that Vaxa stands up really quick to, Master Quelf, thank you for being here. This 7-foot tall humanoid looking figure has lizard folk features, but they're solid gold in appearance. Their skin is gold, their hair is gold,
I like
his hands are behind his hand.
Master what?
Master Quelf.
Master Club. How do you with a Q?
Quellf. Quelf.
I was close. I put a U
Leveled up.
and only one L.
I'm gonna just check out.
Well, what do we have here? Orc, it is good to meet you. Pleasure to meet a survivor. It's not easy being the last of a kind. Trust me, I know.
Are you the last dragon?
As far as I know, I think I am. My dragonborn friends are not kin. Their name is not derived directly from us, but yes. As far as anybody is concerned, I am the last of the dragons. At least of the metallics. Yes.
Is that one of your scales?
How about like, oh buddy, I think you're shedding.
He kind of walks over and plucks it from your fingers,
Oh, gross.
Salty.
swallows it.
You know what that reminds me
Yes,
of?
that's mine.
Very, very gross. Anyways.
Buddy! That was mine.
So,
The skin box.
if he's alive and she's alive, I'm here to assume that you are pre-sundered. You came out of the preserve. Am I correct, Vecna? Yes, you are. They came from the preserve direction. Very well. How do we fix this?
We go back yesterday.
I'm inclined to agree with you, Dryad.
I don't think I'm a dryad.
Why does she
doesn't
say
remember
this?
a lot of her past.
I remember plenty that I don't.
She
I
just
don't know if it's
doesn't
real.
believe if it's real.
But what do you mean? You remember plenty, but you don't know if it's real.
Well, I have memories of being.
Vecna, did you give her a stone? Yes, she has not put it on yet, sir. Put on the stone, child.
Well, that was before the sundering, and she hasn't done
Put
that.
on the stone, child.
I don't think.
The moment that she puts it on, her treant form fades. And standing there is a 6-foot-tall, sylvan-featured, but very much a young, childlike looking organic. Her skin and her form is all kind of like well-maintained, kind of leafy-like skin. Her hair is moss.
She doesn't
And for the
have-
first time ever, Willa, you can see through golden eyes.
You don't have a turtle sticking out of you somewhere, right?
I don't have golden eyes to switch to. I'm sorry.
That's fine. You can see. And you can see that the magic of the stone fades and pulses as you wear it. Like I said,
Will she revert if she takes the necklace off?
I don't know if she would or not. I can imagine it is some kind of suppression magic that is on her. You are truly a dryad, child. Why they've turned you into that other form, I do not know. But I know a true fae when I see one. Do you know where you originally come from?
Just any memories of Fortune?
I mean, the only thing that you can ever remember is that interaction that you had with the tree at Vasselheim, where it showed you the Savalier wood back when it was burning during the time of calamity.
Well, there's the memories that I thought I had, and there's the ones of the great tree ant and the,
Oh,
and the-
Jerry's the emperor. I spent all last week writing up 10 pages for him. He is the emperor.
Do you have another one of those necklaces?
I do.
Because I can never remember my childhood.
I don't know if it'll regain your memory or not, but if you are arcane gifted, Vecna, please give her one as well. And she hands
She's
you
been learning,
a
she's
stone.
been learning spells.
From my elven ancestry.
Yeah, you put it on. You wait a moment. Nothing happens.
But you can
It's
still-
not always the same for all. I recognized her magical nature the moment I saw her from up above in the mountains. It wasn't just your curiosity that brought you to my Senator keepers. I was interested in you the moment I saw you. You I smelled. As much as I miss your kind, you still stink.
Hey, that's
But in a
not
very
fair.
manly way.
Yeah.
A very kind of musky, manly,
We'll give
I
you
like
a
to
good
fight
one.
way. You, however, I do not recognize your smell. I recognize that you are Yanti. I see that in you. But,
Does it mean you go run?
have you told anybody else that you're Yanti?
No.
Like you hear Quelf say that to Zephora. Oh,
Y'all hear this?
interesting.
Thanks. Now I'm looking for things.
I mean, you can pop them out if you want to.
Yeah, you don't see me.
Because you can control them.
Yeah.
The uppers are easier to control than the lowers. The lowers are a little bit like you've always had these strange eye-shaped lowers, but the uppers you've always been able to retract and.
So now Jade's
Yes,
just
I'm on TV. I was going to take over the meat creatures, or help at least, but now that's all gone.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty for you to do out there, but I'm pondering a different question. What if we could figure out a way to send you back and undo whatever it is that you did?
I don't think we did anything. That's the
Oh,
problem.
yes, we did.
The problem is we didn't do things.
Problem is, there was things
That's kind
that
of-
I was
yeah.
supposed to do.
What would Diddy do?
would they be able
Did he
to
did it?
go back using one of the ships from the Void?
No, unfortunately, the ships. When you do not master the void ships, they can be erratic.
I'm better at it now.
Yes, but the problem is you discovered something very accidental. The void ships are very closely guarded by the mechanics in the gray. The mechanics are their militant arm of the gray. What the gray have mastered is they've mastered an ability that we call augmentation. What they are able to do is they are able to take their strange engineering and attach it to physical creatures and therefore alter what they are. These become mechanics, or the mechaniques, as we refer to them. Now, one of the concerns I have is that you've killed one, from what I understand.
It's kind of alive.
Well,
What do you mean it's kind of alive?
it was
It's either
some
dead or it's
thing
not.
Stuck
Alive, it's
on a
just a spell.
pole, but yes.
Oh, do you have its head?
You gotta wait.
I will not ask it a question. I would just like to see it and make sure.
Where's the rest of it?
The rest of it?
The rest
It's
of
very
it.
morbid. May see.
Welcome to
Oh,
the
it's
club.
a. It's fine. I know which ones those are.
My cat eats.
So how do we get back?
Ah, it's a good question. Now, some of us have summarized or theorized that the void itself
She's a young.
is the gateway. Is it possible for you to take your vessel into the void and figure out how to reverse whatever has happened to you? Well, if you can make your way onto the mechanic's asteroid vessel, I believe
Why did that thing?
that would be the answer that you're looking for. And I suspect what you would have known it to be at the time that you discovered it was the shadowed moon, I believe. Once the shadow fell and the Fae collided, creating the void space, the remnants of that moon became an asteroid. The mechanics in the gray have been using to control this particular area of the astral sea. Now, I think the answer to these questions might be on that chunk of rock.
The house.
I do.
The portal in the house.
If it's there.
Yes, allow me to show you something. He reaches up and he pulls the glacial, kind of like glass crystal plates apart. And you're getting this kind of like overhead view of a landmass that is just cratered with meteor strikes. You would know this place is Issylra, or more importantly, where Vasselheim used to be. The entire continent was sundered.
I don't think our house is there anymore.
Is the Savalier Woods still there?
Aren't you glad I brought you
No,
guys?
all of Wildmont has been submerged in a great tidal wave. It's merely islands left, similar to what happened to Marquette, although we have not made much discovery there.
That was the
So why are you showing us this? How are we going to get back?
I don't know for sure, but you got here. If you got here, then something at that point in time triggered an event. That event is what we need to understand when it happened and how you can repeat it. Now, I understand your misuse of the void ship brought you forward. But this time, This time that you're on is now your current future. Whatever you do to go back becomes your future's past. So something will change when you do go back. The question is, can you think of an event that was going on at that point in time when you were there that altered this?
The election.
There was a party.
We
There
also
was
election
the winter
left a huge
festival.
coma.
Yeah, we have the recorded history of the Winter Festival. We have the recorded
Who won the election?
the High Bear's seat.
That was
From what we understand, the election never took place. It happened a day. The Sun Rain happened a day before the High Bear was to be chosen to sit in the high seat.
I guess we're not going up north either.
We let a giant spider loose.
Well, I don't know if that would have anything to do with it.
He was a person
He was a person.
who worked for the Golden Ravens.
The who?
The gold
Golden
ravens.
Ravens.
I'll hold up the pin.
Oh
Maybe
my.
you should tell them about your Jerry friend that you talk about.
Jerry? Jerry was weird. He was a shapeshifter. Little fella. No hair.
Every
Always
time
no
he
hair.
shapeshifted, no hair.
No hair.
That's why I wondered if you seen any naked goats.
He got
He
kidnapped. We were supposed to save him, but we couldn't find a way to get there.
He was kidnapped.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the Golden Ravens. We have
It was the Golden Ravens that took him.
that is interesting.
They keep cropping up.
And they were trying, and after that, when I
I'm gonna describe
when
Jerry.
we were in the city, they tried
Give me a
to get-
performance check as you do that.
yeah, they tried to take her.
18 plus
but we
What?
got her
20.
back.
30-20? Okay, you do a really good job. And Quelf goes, sounds a lot like a gray. Although they normally don't find themselves walking among us during the period of discovery.
He was taking samples of a bunch of things with like
Stick.
Oh,
Yes, I
wow.
believe they call it a probe.
yeah.
That's what they call it.
You know what I call
It collects physical material of things that they find interesting. They analyze them and send them back to what they call the Great Obelisk, a great sentient device designed specifically to understand and ascertain the creation of such creatures. If they
Leisure.
So, where were you when you decided to take the vessel and travel to the Sundered Rim?
We were at our
Our house.
So you were in Vasselheim at that time.
There were a
We
group
were
of
good.
halflings that were hiring us to go to the house in the Sundered Peaks and retrieve their
Treasure.
inheritance.
Yeah, and they're
Interesting.
weird ants, like totally possessed.
And you found the vault. You found everything, correct? You
That's where we found the kobold.
Oh, interesting. They were looking for it as well. That
We
is
found it
fascinating.
because he was
In there.
in there with them.
He was in the basement.
Yes, but if he was still there and he hadn't left, I don't think he found what they might be looking for.
Is there
We
something
have to
special
go
in our
back to
treasure?
that house.
Maybe we look in our treasure. Is there something special in our treasure? I think I wrote it down.
It's all in your ship, though. You don't have it with you.
Yeah.
No, but we have a list of things that we found.
She
In
has
there.
her little notepad.
Pieces of rubber, 3 crystal figurines. Well, we have some of the
You know
stuff.
how
It's
to
just the gold.
stop her
I'm
from
gonna
doing
write it
that?
in
I have-
purple.
I have, other than the gold,
Rings,
I have the rest of the
necklaces,
pieces of jewelry and stuff are in my pouches.
That's right.
3 crystal
You know
figurines.
what paper's made out of?
I don't think they were looking for the contents of the vault. I think they were more interested in the automaton creature that you encountered.
They'd already put
Wanna
that
ask a
inside the
question?
automaton.
That
That is interesting.
that cobalt thing was stuck to it.
It was inside.
Actually, was in its own pod.
inside- It was in a pod inside of the
Oh,
automaton.
interesting. So that inserted itself into the automaton.
Mhm.
Yeah, didn't we say it looked a lot like the Lost or the technology from the moon?
Mhm. I kept a piece of it.
I absorbed a piece of it.
No, you tried to absorb a piece
No, I
of it.
did.
When she changes back to all the dead magic users and everything, you're
Like all the dead bodies come
Yeah.
spilling out of her.
Spilling out.
That does beg to differ.
Where's the
It
tortoise
does beg to wonder if how that's going to affect what I've always been doing.
I mean, it depends on how you do it. I mean, all the stone does is show your true form.
I've been
Taking that off just reverts you back.
But I've been doing that all along. So what is it doing? Do I look like partially metal and?
No, you look like a dryad. You look like a fey dryad.
Can I get a description of my current form again? I got the golden eyes and the mossy hair.
Like your hair is moss, your golden orbed eyes, you'd be described as stunning to look at, and your skin and everything about your physical form is made of like organic material, ivy and flowers and leaves, and yeah, you're basically flora.
I'm basically what I was.
No, you were a tree before, distinct and very different looking. Now you look like more like a traditional dryad.
I'll attract the enemy with my human call. I'm so wasted.
A dozen humans stumble in. Huh? Horny, sober humans, my favorite.
I love those. I love those so much. Has anybody ever looked them up or clicked them but when they were actually playing Warcraft?
Oh, I always click them all.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
There's like a thing on YouTube that you can just listen to all of them.
The
It's
dryad
really
was
great.
my favorite. I'll attract the enemy with my human call. I'm so wasted. I'm so wasted.
Wasted.
My favorite was the darkness
Oh my
call.
god.
Okay, so it like jumped from one thing to another. It was like there was this whole string of like, darkness call.
Reminds me of that one card too.
The peons for the
posted up
orcs,
on
it was
Facebook
always
for a while.
more
It was a
what?
mimic of a. There was a treasure chest one, and then there was a girl chained up to the wall.
Yeah.
Please help me.
Right.
He's all like, "Dang it, Jerry! That's the second time you're reading mine." It's all like, "Man, you gotta either evolve or die."
Okay, so we are going to talk to the
So
cohort.
how do we?
I did.
Hey, how many more questions are you able to ask it?
All of them? We haven't asked any questions.
No, we have three. How many can you say? Five. We have five still to ask.
You haven't asked any?
No.
We couldn't
You just
decide
have a
on
dead head
question.
on. You just have a dead head in a bucket that's like, hey, can you deal with me now? It's just grinding its teeth.
No, because what you forgot is inside the spiders are eating
The spiders are not eating.
them.
Well, I mean, you only need the skull. You don't need the flesh.
Don't need the flesh. They just
Yeah.
it's starting.
Like you watch as Bella like pulls it out to show Quelf, and it's like covered in little tiny spiders. Part of the skull's beginning to show.
We've asked one.
Yeah, I think so. I think one was
Yes,
asked.
can we go back in time? And he says, I don't think that's possible. We weren't asking him,
But we
he
said it out
answered.
loud.
Yeah, yeah.
That's when I put it in the bag. I was like, no more for you.
Yeah, that's a very difficult spell to control. By the way, in case you haven't noticed, with the sundering came the collapse of the veil between worlds. Magic does not quite work the way you remembered it. It's because you were in the preserve.
So getting to the point.
We were over by
Did the time change?
Right, that's where the
after
preserve
we went
is.
back into space?
So can someone?
Did
Is
the
someone
time-
knowledgeable about the ship we're
did our
on to be able
timeline
to
change?
help us get back?
when we were
I have
back
some
in
gift
space?
pilots and some freeing pirates that could help you. Pilots that can help you understand, yes. Void ships are very different from normal astral vessels that we use. They are very difficult to manage.
Yes.
It's again the reason why they've become extinct.
Jade, did you master the
I have figured out the helmet
Figure it out.
better. Yes.
You figured it
I
out.
have
Figured it out.
figured it out.
Figured it out.
I know the difference between sashimis and sushis.
I've figured it out.
I did
we
Fucking
didn't-
D-gens from the astral seas.
Time, but it only took us like a couple hours to get here.
I'm just thinking of Jerry,
Like
just
a
like with a
half
purple cape on, just on this huge dais with, and it's like way up there's a throne on this
Not quite,
like
not quite,
100
but
foot long dais, and it's like with stairs, and he's got this.
you're gonna love what I
cape
did for him because I took it from an episode of Rick and Morty.
on. Oh,
Can you guess which one?
I'm terrified.
Is it the one where he makes out with the entire planet?
No, that's one of my favorites, but it's not that one.
which one?
It's the one with the bugs,
No.
the face huggers.
Oh, I love it.
I'd model his return off that.
Jerry's walking around with like a pen stuck to his face.
No, you're Summer.
Or, huh?
You're Summer.
Summer with the toothpick.
Oh, gotcha.
You accidentally became in charge.
Okay. Hopefully that's even better. That's perfect, Jerry. I'm watching. Oh.
Yeah.
It took
Now
us
I'm
an
just-
hour to get
I'm
through.
gonna mentally picture you with a toothpick now.
I did want to know if this guy had more insight onto my lacking memory when all I knew was about the.
All I can do is that with my vision, I can recognize what you truly are. I can see all your true forms. Unfortunately, I don't know your past. I don't know why they chose to hide you. I don't know if I'd call it a curse, but your form's been purposely changed for a reason. I know we should do that. We should all just nudge him and all.
Just all face
You just have like a banner going across the game. We've all fallen asleep. It's been a rough week. Especially when you sit in a comfortable studio. Like if we were in the uncomfortable one, he'd be too warm to fall asleep.
We're an uncomfortable one.
I have-
He and
I
I
are
are so
so
close
close
together. I was just poking him constantly.
I have a bruise on my back that's patterned in my chainmail. She helped work it a little bit. But yeah, no, it was a rough week. Oh,
Anyways,
I'm
I don't know enough about your past to give you details to why they chose to hide you this way. Just be aware that if you take off the necklace, you'll revert to your altered form. Putting on the necklace cancels the wild magic that has been imbued into you.
If we go back in time, will the necklace still work?
I don't know. I don't even know if your memories will maintain the understanding of this encounter that we've had.
Write it down.
No one's ever really tried to pass through the void with the intent of returning or transitioning to a time period other than the one that they're in.
So
What normally happens when people go through the void?
Normally you find yourself in another part of the astral sea.
so they can train us, but they can't go with us, and then we go through the void in the ship, and then we go back in time.
Anything or anybody that were to travel with you, if you were to go back from where you came from, would put that in jeopardy. It could be... It could create a paradox where other branches of existence happen and the sundered happens yet again, but in a different way.
So we probably shouldn't bring the necklaces back with us.
No, we can
because-
take the necklace.
Well, if we take it with us and it doesn't exist in the future, therefore the necklace itself becomes a time paradox.
Or they simply become inert and don't work.
Oh,
Does that mean we have to leave all the treasure?
They only work right now because wild magic is... The reason why, if you're on the preserve, they purposely contain...
what's the preserve?
The preserve is a great landmass where the Grey and the mechanics have deemed it acceptable for certain species to exist. Mostly wild animal and other species. They've been gathered throughout the entirety of Exandria and deposited in the
Is that where we're
preserve.
at right now?
No, you're on the border of where the preserve is, and the remnants of a small bit of Issylra that still exists.
What are the machines harvesting?
We don't know for sure. They seem to be harvesting gases, metallurgies, other chemicals. They call them chemicals. I don't know what they mean by that. Our alchemists would call them components, I guess, perhaps. They are harvesting Exandria. There are cases that Vecna has seen that they've hollowed out entire planets collecting resources.
I haven't seen some of the things that we saw walking through here, like those insect creatures. Where are you from?
What do you
From
mean?
Here?
Oh, they are from other parts of the astral sea.
Why are they here?
They traveled here thinking, unfortunately, that the void was something to inspect. They got too close. They were brought through when they didn't intend to. If they come under if they're commandeered by the mechanics merely reposit them in the preserve. However, if they are dwarf, gnome, or orc ancestry, they are terminated and dealt with accordingly.
Well, we better get back and fix this because
I'm gonna try and fix this.
Well, we're presuming that it might be fixable. I don't know. For a group of people out of place and out of time, you represent the best opportunity for us to maybe figure this out. Yes, but Master Quelf, there's a possibility if you let them go, they will find the sanctuary. I understand, but
Well, we found you because there's a beacon.
yes, I can assure you that was coincidence.
Who's the beacon? Who started the beacon?
Oh, not mine. Vecna's dreadnought ship, buried deep in the cliffside face, sends out a very specific signal to those that are turned into it. You said your ship picked up on it.
Yes.
Son of a bitch. That's what they were looking for. A kobold stumbled upon you by accident. He was tracking our beacon. They've figured out our code. Vecna, go and shut down the beacon. We will figure out a different way of doing this. Quickly.
Totally called it.
Yes, Master Quelf, do it immediately. And she disappears out of the room.
Question for you.
Yes.
So I'll say we do go back in time, and hopefully we don't fuck up and meet ourselves and start a vortex thing going on.
Well, that's
If
fair.
we ever did run into you again, what would be the quickest way to show you that we're friends, not enemies?
If you ever were to run into me again, I'm not sure you understand the concept of you may not retain memory.
But if
Write it down. What if you write it down?
let me see your notebook.
Well, if you write it down, you will not understand why you wrote it down.
No, just surprisingly, out of the weird things that we've done, I'm sure the weirdest thing we can do is write it down and understand what we actually wrote down. Because we're weird that way.
Well,
there was those.
I have a
bugs.
feeling
I
that
can't imagine that the entire sanctity of a timeline of existence rests on such
I have a feeling
common
it's probably better
shoulders.
that we don't- I have a feeling that's better that we don't remember anything,
I'm hoping that we do remember. That way we can fix it.
or at least that we know we need to do something.
Well, we know we need to do something.
Well, for now,
And how far back do we go?
I don't know. That's the other question I continue to ask you. What event was going on at the precise moment that you traveled in that vessel? That vessel interacted with something during your travels. That would have been its trigger. That would have cast you through the void when it came into existence.
I did finish growing in the garden plants.
It's better that you don't talk, dear.
It's weird because like you look over at Willa and she's like this stunning, gorgeous, like flora-like creature, but yeah, it's the same shit coming out of her mouth.
Her memory is no different.
Very true.
Why is it always you don't want the hot ones to talk?
Me and Callista were having that conversation the other day.
We had a friend of ours die.
Oh, that's right. That one girl died.
Mm-hmm.
And they also had the control of Matthias.
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 The holder.
Oh, what about that little spider thing?
We did talk about
We
the
already
spider thing that
mentioned
escaped.
the spider guy.
Yeah, I got away.
Can't imagine that something like that would.
The moment that we were leaving, it was the halflings that were in our house.
The
with
halflings
with
wanted just to go there
blood-
to
that
find
blood
that.
bracelet.
Yeah.
Not a blood oath, but it was a bracelet that was bloodbound.
This bracelet. Describe it for me.
Describe the bracelet.
Give me performance checks. See how well you do.
Do you have advantage because we're totally helping?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
That's better. Performance 13.
Sounds like minor illusion magic, bound to the blood of an inheritor, and therefore the illusion magic triggered the event of the conversation. which then caused you and your friends to get into the ship and then travel to the Sundered Peaks.
I think someone sent us there as a distraction for us.
No, because while you were traveling, the sundering occurred, the Void Gate would have opened, and you were cast through up to a year ahead. This was an accident. The sundering began during your travels. Somebody had initiated the Shadow Moon. Was there anybody or any person of interest staying at your residence when
Yeah,
you
we
traveled?
thought we thought he was in a coma.
We tell him about the magic user guy,
Yeah, Gregor.
Oh, there was
Gregor, and
His
And
brother.
his-
He was a
Gregor the Grey.
yes,
Uh-huh. Was it
he was
gray?
a ghost.
It wasn't a gray. It wasn't a gray.
no, Gregor. He looked like a ghost.
Oh, his
Gregor the Grey.
Oh yeah, he was a spirit. Gregory.
Are you telling me that Gregor the Grey was in your domicile when you left?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no, he wasn't
Well,
there.
no,
he
he-
ran away.
He had fled.
He slides some of the panels to show another illusion.
But his brother was there.
Yeah,
It's
his brother was kind of dead.
it's an image of the lion, but his facial features remind you of Gregor.
Oh, great.
So,
The Gregor
So
is
that looks
is
like William Conifer, but it looks like
Gregor's
It's
the
like
Gregor.
William Conifer's physical form, but it's Gregor's face.
so basically,
But their eyes and facial appearance remind you a lot of Jerry's appearance, like facial features.
So wait.
but he has hair.
Let me straighten this out.
Doesn't mean I'm good, Gray.
The ghost looks like a gray possessing the Goliath.
William Conifer.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, when you say it like that, it sounds quite insane.
It does sound
Was he
insane.
bald?
It's
Well, they're all bald. Goliaths are bald. Jerry's bald.
God, Goliath's son.
the Grey have the ability to move their minds from people to people. Your people would call it possession. The Greys call it transmutation.
Well, his brother. What was his Grumbles?
Well, that's
But
what
that wasn't his actual name.
I have his actual name written down. It's straight.
I know. I'm looking for it.
I wanted to put a blade in him so badly.
Gregorian von Weisen.
In fairness, we left him to the spiders to see if they just eat him.
That's no fun.
That was Rumble's real name.
So,
Gregorian von Weisen.
one of the greatest authority of the Grey was in your domicile at the point that you left.
So we should go back and stab him in his coma.
I don't believe he was in what you call a comatose state.
That was his brother.
I think he was being possessed.
It was very strange.
Henry. Henry was the ghost.
Henry was the ghost.
Yeah, plus Henry's wife died. just
All of his
before we
wives.
left.
Henry was the ghost.
That looked
yeah,
very much
sorry.
the
Hold on.
same.
I'm trying to find
With different hair.
Henry's brother's name.
I just said. It's
I think we can narrow down that as being the key event. How it triggers it, I'm not certain. But up on that astral body that orbits this planet is where he sits. He's not the one in charge, unfortunately. Some fanatic called, and I believe you might know him. And you watch as he brings up another panel of illusionary light. And there's Jerry.
It's Jerry.
Hey, you found Jerry.
Jerry is wearing a black, purple, and red oversized cloak. He's wearing a leather jumpsuit. But as all of you that know him well enough stare at his eyes and his face, he looks confused and quite idiotic at the same time.
That sounds like
Typical Jerry.
Oh, look, you found our friend Jerry. He's been missing.
Yes, once you mentioned his name, they call him the Proked, Jerry the Emperor, the all-seeing admiral and general of the mechanics. He is the one responsible for most of what's been going on down here. He seemed to have an affinity for hating dwarfs, gnomes, and orcs. It was his insistence that they be eradicated.
Do you like to probe him in the butt a lot?
that might be our fault.
Why would that be your fault? He's quite mad. I mean, look at him. It's like a picture of Jerry Smith from Rick and Morty. Just like when he's the scientist on Pluto.
It was Gregory the what?
Gregorian von Reisman?
No, what was he called?
Gregor the Grey.
Gregory the Great.
He is the one that commands mechanics. He is the one that answers to this individual you call Jerry.
Why would he hate the
Whoops.
dwarves and the orcs? after
I
he
don't
never
know.
forgave us?
To be clear, I'm standing here with people. They're from a year from my past. They just wandered off the preserve. They have a void ship. They have 2 individuals that have been extinct for well almost a year. And now we're having a discussion about how to fix all of this. I'm the last of my dragon kind. I can assure you, if I could pawn this off onto someone else, I would.
Well, hopefully you won't be the last.
Well,
Who was the
That's true.
last of your kind beside you? When were they destroyed?
It all happened during the period we call the Sundering. Within a few days, the entire world was fractured. Things changed. Entire cities and empires wiped out
Go
overnight.
invisible, though. How did they destroy you?
Invisibility does not make you impenetrable.
Yeah.
It merely makes you not be seen. When an entire continent is consumed in flame, it's not as if my invisibility would protect me from it.
So,
My wings did, however, when I flew away from it.
so we go back in time, go back to the moon, and destroy it?
I don't think we can destroy the moon.
No?
Oh, that's interesting.
wait a minute.
What if you go back to the Shadow Moon? And the answer lies there.
It was all very gibberish. We didn't understand it.
The Shadow Moon is where you
Never
gain
went to
possession
the
of the
Shadow
vessel,
Moon.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a giant
Well, they
dreadnought
popped
inside
their
of it.
head in. We never.
Yes,
actually
the
went in.
creature that they've been dissecting. The Greys are very fascinated by the creatures that.
Yeah, we ended up with some
Well, we have had
files that they'd made from it.
we had a few enemies back a year ago, and maybe you could help us know more about them and how to defeat them. So
I know you've already
easier.
mentioned the Golden Ravens. We know them to be a clandestine group of wizards that sought unique creatures and unique devices of unknown magical origin.
Yeah, they were really
They are an offshoot of an organization, I believe, called the Cerebus Assembly that operated out of Dwindle, a kingdom called
So,
Kingdom
Gold Raven
Dwendalian.
offshoot of-
Dwendalian Empire, I believe, is what it used to be called.
Dwendalian, yes.
Another question is,
Hmm.
how far can we go back?
I don't know if it's even possible that you can. If you can, the real question is, how can you control it? And if you can control it, then how far
Because
can
you
you go
could we
back?
go back far enough before they kidnapped your friend Jerry?
Interesting.
That would be good. We could
Is
resolve-
that the
They
crossroads?
An additional couple of weeks, month, 2 months.
Well,
Well,
because we lost the month
Was
the
it
first
just a
time when we
month?
came back down.
So probably like 3 months.
So
And yet losing that month didn't have concern in your minds about using the ship again, did it?
We're crazy people.
We
Real
kind of needed
crazy
to get
people.
out of town.
I'm beginning to understand this.
We thought it was kind of a blessing because we had people after us, so
we
we
could have
thought
taken the bar.
if we were a
Let's
year
just say
ahead of them,
We're
then they
crazy
probably
enough
think
to
we're
try
good.
it.
I don't know if that makes it a good thing or an okay. I can see why they're extinct now. Anyways,
Well, she may have a water problem.
No.
so like you keep passing the water. Oh, yes. For some reason, this Emperor Jerry was very insistent that alcohol be banned. Something about it gives him gas. I don't know what that means.
We all just chuckle.
Oddly enough, all the mechanics creatures that the Grey make, they're not allowed to have hair.
They have no pants too.
Jerry wore
Ugh.
Jerry wore pants.
He's
He's
some.
just smooth.
He
down
sometimes wore pants.
He's smooth down there anyway.
he's peach fuzz shaven.
Oh, there's just nothing there.
All of the foxes too.
He did have a tendency towards. He would not allow pets into his chambers. Yes, he did not like the idea of pets. The domestic dog and cat have been completely eradicated. Smaller creatures that are capable of domestic existence have been dealt with as well.
I'm petting Jade.
Does seem to have an affinity for
I'm sorry, I'm petting Ivory.
petting Jade.
I'm petting Ivory.
I'm okay. I'm a good girl. I'm a good girl. Jerry's gonna like me if he sees me again.
Next to his throne, he has a tabaxi that he chained to it.
Wearing your chainmail bikini.
Yeah.
Chainmail bikini.
It's gonna be a little Java thing going on.
You don't just have to pull your hair. Just saying.
What hair? I don't want him to have hair.
Yeah, it's shaven. His
We
face.
bred them so that they lost all their hair.
It's only been a year.
And their hips go bad at 10 years. They're just really super inbred.
Does anybody else want that last one before it gets too bad?
OMG. Go ahead. Go ahead. Down it, girl.
Damn it. Brains.
Oh, it looks like brains.
Just
It
have
looks like
pink
testicles.
interior.
Oh, it's coming out.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, I'm going to leave you all to talk about this and give you a moment to absorb everything that's happened. I am going. Excuse me.
Can we get the person that, like, the one that you said that you knew someone that knew how to work the ship? Can they come in here to help us figure out how to work the ship then?
I will find Commander Zantra. Just give me a moment.
Our ship's out there. Is it safe?
If it's a void ship, I believe it to be safe.
I'll go get the bug.
No,
But
we
here's the
covered it.
thing.
We hit it. It was fine.
The Kobold would have been in a mechanic's ship. So somewhere out there in the preserve is his ship as well.
We're by the same like that like
Should we ask him?
Possibly.
We can ask him for his ship. Wait, no, maybe we blew that one up.
it was such a little pod.
What caused the lake to go bad like that?
The mining, the drilling, unfortunately.
The plants do like it very much.
Well,
There were no plants.
there are poisonous and acidic gases that can do damage to.
That house got up and walked into the lake.
There are strange corruptions that can happen in the preserve, creatures that are dropped there of magical, shall we say, accidents.
Mimics.
Those are there too, but other things, unfortunately. The collision of so much magic and strange things have created a very kind of miasmic soup of uncertainty when it comes to things you might run into. To be honest with you, I'm surprised you've made it this far.
We just got back in the ship and came here.
Serendipitous.
Well, all right. We better talk about this.
Well, I'll leave you to it. I will check in on where Xantar is, get him squared away. Be aware that the Threen are very strange creatures, but very knowledgeable pilots.
Yes, some food.
Ah, yes, of course. I will be sure to have some food sent in to you as well.
Some books or instructions on those ships. Things.
Do we really want to go back and
Some more
try that? Maybe we lie to ourselves.
It's very strong rock.
I know. It's great.
You may have to make a contract.
You guys can hear Quelf as he leaves. And you guys are currently in the main council
Get some
chamber.
Tan makeup for him. Snip her ears, and we'll go off and gallivant through the.
It's not the ears that's the problem. She's a dwell.
It's the alcohol intake.
It's the beard.
She can't exactly make her grow 6
Other
inches.
things have beards.
She just
Technically, I'm bald.
She doesn't have a beard.
Did your hair didn't come back?
I don't think my hair.
Did her hair come back when she grew?
Yeah, when she all the
Yeah, but
wild
she
magic
doesn't-
effect,
she doesn't
everything
have a
came
beard.
back.
That's why one thing that alienated from her work.
Well, if
Yeah. I have because it's
It's the
basically.
Fu Manchu.
okay, whatever. My thinking is this:
Little tiny goatee now going.
if we can go back, we should go back in time to where you can control what happens to Jerry.
Stop him from going.
Stop
to
him
the
from being at
Golden
least
Ravens?
being kidnapped.
He wasn't
because-
kidnapped.
You don't know that.
You don't know that. I'm just going by what you guys told me.
Right.
So, because now if he's running this whole show, something happened.
You can just go back and eat the guy that was like
Or we just killed Jerry.
Why would you kill Jerry? He's our friend.
I mean, if he's the linchpin, he's the one that starts all this. Just kill Jerry, and then it stops.
Yeah, but there was somebody
Episode
that-
17.
There was somebody.
You guys stare through the trees to see copies of yourself having a meal with Jerry.
Kill them all. We have to kill each other. We have to
Dressed
kill
up like
our own
squid
We have
people.
to use a Rick and Morty thing where they have to kill themselves. They kill
Yeah,
the
kill
one of the
themselves.
copies and then bury it in the
And bury 'em.
backyard.
go back and save Jerry.
We're just going to
If we
assume
can't-
their
If
identities.
we can't go back and save Jerry, the next point would be probably when we're still on the moon, because before we lost any time at all.
Or there
we-
was a point where we knew where Jerry was taken. We just didn't follow through on it.
We didn't go there because we didn't have a way to get there at the time. We didn't have a ship then.
But
I think we
could have
should-
taken, we could have taken an airship.
I think we should stop Jerry from being taken because he had the primordial stone on him.
Yeah, that was bad. We should probably tell the dragon guy about the primordial stone.
Yeah, that might be a good idea, guys. That might be the whole linchpin he was asking about.
The primordial stone.
As the DM laughs
No, I'm
under
pretty
his
sure it's
under his
Jerry.
under his
Jerry! We don't need to tell the dragon about the primordial stone.
Don't we have one of those with
I
us?
think we have the small one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have the tiny.
Jerry had the big one.
We got the big one, the giant, the size of his
So you had
head.
a primordial stone the first time you were on the ship, and the second time.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Well,
And that's what he needs to know. Kill the dwell.
Kill the dwell.
Kill the dwell. Kill the dwell.
I love how we just keep.
I'm just gonna set that little bit of information right on the table. While I go get water.
We keep
What do
forgetting
you
about
think
that.
the primordial
You
stone
want me to get
did
you water?
to the ship?
So you can DM still or no?
I mean, we should
You got
probably
it?
not call it primordial stone because they could be listening. So we're gonna call it PS. What do you think the PS could have done to the
They
ship?
already heard primordial stone.
Let's stop saying it because they might not have been
What,
listening.
primordial stone?
Hey guys,
Say
you know
it.
what a primordial
Primordial stone?
Well,
Big shiny rock.
considering that the stone would kind of amplify whatever's around it, like say the sandstorm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if the ship were to be driven by say like a warp engine or something like that, and the stone amplified it.
No, I can drive the engine.
so you want to try?
But you might have to give her the stone.
Oh,
the-
jeez.
Where were you
basically
during
the,
back in that time, though?
Who? Zephora?
Yeah.
the
you
stone.
I hadn't
being
met you guys until you hit the
amplified
city.
being
Yeah, she
amplified
was
by the
bartending.
engines
So-
of the
I was
ship.
bartending and doing a bad job at it.
Eventually created its own.
Honestly, if we follow
Jerry was kidnapped, and then I showed up after you guys hit the town. You
Honestly,
guys
if
met
we
me.
went exactly the way we did before and,
And-
we saved Jerry, we'd still go back into town and we could still recruit Sephora.
Because Jerry was looking for
And
a
then-
red and a blue, wasn't he?
Ivar can play 2 characters.
I know, it'd be great.
He could make
He could be our Travis Willingham.
the pet to
No, I
Sephora.
could just take over Sephora's body.
Oh God.
2 characters.
Because Grace
And I
have that
love
ability.
I love it that she's just strong enough that like you have both dual
Oh, man.
conversations with
Okay.
yourself.
But no, I'm imagining.
You guys need to get out of my head.
I'm imagining Sephora, not Sephora. I'm imagining Jerry.
Jerry?
Jerry.
Zajeri.
Stop.
Zajeri of the Germans?
I'm not calling those words.
Zeri. It's Zeri.
I'm imagining Jerry turning into like a bug or something and then crawling into Zephora's brain
Alright.
and then just,
And controlling
running
her.
her like that.
Like lashing onto the.
And here I was thinking you were gonna say you was gonna turn into a brain
Ooh, like
devourer.
one of those worm creatures
They put creatures in our ears.
That took over the wolves and stuff.
Rain flowers.
Yep.
That's my people.
Mhm.
Nah, it would be something cooler.
All I picture is
Like I'd hollow her
wings,
insides
all
out.
with legs, and like
Use her like a robot.
It's like, well, that's
Use
So-
her like a robot.
No, use her like a robot. No, I'd have controls in there
You're
and
using
stuff.
her like a robot.
See, people are worried about AI. All we're gonna do is make sex robots. That's all that's gonna happen. Sentient sex robots.
Well, that's something to worry about because those don't breed.
Yeah,
I would totally get a
that's
sex
fine.
robot.
There's a lot of people that don't breed
There's
now.
already
so
been a
it's
bunch
good.
Pretty sure there was a picture of that.
No, it was even earlier, 1972, Cherry 2000.
If they come out
Oh,
with sex
Cherry
robots,
2000,
babe,
yeah.
we're totally having threesomes.
With,
No,
who was it? Who was in that movie?
Like a used one from a pawn shop. You're gonna like,
the
hey, get the
blonde
hose. We got squirt the.
Oh, get it from a
Decontaminated.
reputable
Hey,
pawn shop,
Get the
Spray
bot
for
wipes.
louses.
Get the bot wipes.
like like the future city is like on the right side of downtown is all sex shops for robots.
Get the bot.
And on the left
It's just like
side,
a
it's
brush
all
like this
cleaning
long.
supplies for sex robots.
Yeah, like the
And
bot
at the
brush.
top, we're on the next street over.
It's kind of like when computers got really popular and half the aisle was floppy disks and the other half was floppy disk cleaners.
Yeah. Jeez, I can't. That's a blast from the past.
Right? Walk into a Comp USA, it was an entire aisle. Floppy disks.
Don't you guys
Floppy disk cleaners.
Click.
512K.
love that floppy disk is still the save symbol, but at the same time, it didn't hold more than like most like a quarter of a quarter of a quarter.
Are you kidding me? My 3.5-inch discs, they could hold up to 1 meg.
Yeah,
Oh,
one
wow.
meg.
They were stellar.
Those are hard discs though. The
Oh,
little
yeah,
ones.
The little there's the little cassette cartridges. Those were 5 meg.
Yeah,
Those pushed the envelope.
yeah.
And that's still the symbol for saving today.
Remember
Mhm.
the original ones, the little
3.5-inch floppy?
tapes?
Yeah.
Oh, I
The
remember
little
those.
cassette tape deals.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Now that we showed our
we
age.
might
Yeah, I know, right?
want to.
Whoops.
Do we want to tell the dragon
It might help with the whole time travel.
Yeah, it might help with the time travel.
about the primordial stone?
Yes.
We
Might
all
help
just
with the
keep
time
forgetting that
travel.
those exist.
Forgetting. We just
At least Jared got his reign for 5 minutes with us till we have to go back.
So we think we know what our
Can we wave him down?
point or our catalyst.
Well, I mean, about
is.
20 minutes later, he comes back in. Well, I've secured Zenta. He will be more than happy to review your ship. And yes,
May have come up with a thought
what's that?
of why, and I'll.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Our resident geologist, please explain stones.
Sure.
We
Rolling
may
a
have
stone.
found what was the
We'll just say
Problem.
because
Might
You
be
said
the
it was
problem.
Have you guys pulled this thing out since you've time traveled?
No.
Okay.
All right, pull it out.
As you open your bag, there is a very intense pulsing light in your bag.
Yeah, I like to think you open the bag, it's like.
Quelf is like,
it's gonna be a lost arc moment. Face melts.
It's so beautiful.
no, you're consequential to this story. Indiana Jones was inconsequential to that story. No matter what, the Nazis still got it, and their faces still would have melted.
The only thing he did was take it back and put it in the warehouse.
The-
All right.
Did you lose it?
No, I've got different boxes now. I've got box 1, box 6, box.
Do you have a Werther's original out of the wrapper with lint on the bar?
Yeah. We'll
And it's like, yeah, I guess she pulls it out and hands it over to Jay. And Quelf is like,
that might have
"Are
been
you kidding me?"
part of what was the problem?
It didn't do that.
I like shiny rocks, so.
But Jerry, when he was taken,
Yes.
had a bigger one,
Bigger than that.
and I'll.
Like
We found it in a
Yeah.
temple.
It was about that big. Wait, how big was it?
It
Was
was
it that
big.
big?
About
That was
the
about this
tall-
big.
Yeah.
Are you aware of what you have there?
Primordial stone?
A little bit, yeah.
I say kind of questioning.
Don't even know
Yes,
what it
that is
does.
one thing that it is called, depending on your interpretation. We call it a creation stone. What you're holding there is enough to reshape the very planet that we stand on.
And they wouldn't let me eat it.
No, we wouldn't let her eat it.
I'm glad. I'm very glad.
Also, then we don't have to go back in time. We can just.
Well, we've definitely discovered what triggered the event.
Right.
You had that on you the first time you traveled in your ship, correct? And you lost time.
Yes.
That was a
Month.
month.
Lost a month.
But we didn't go.
Did you look at that stone after that first period of travel?
No.
That means it was active with the void magic. So that when you used it a second time, the void magic of the stone was triggered and it opened the gateway.
Whoops.
Oh, so we caused it all.
Yep.
Typical.
However, that also means it is currently filled with a large amount of void magic. Which means if you were to go back through the gateway with it active, it may cancel the gateway out and restore time. Or it may simply cast you out to the astral sea, upon where you can never return.
That could be the astral magic. So it's dice within dice. So it's not
See
like
if I can figure out how to open this.
Throw it down real hard.
That's always
Throw it down really hard.
Oh, that's why the orcs are gone.
Good fighters, the orcs.
They had them all in a
Too
row.
bad they all starved together when they were
All
told
the
to get the
different
food
lineages
off the
in a
wall
row,
in a
and they
round
said-
room.
Each of you get one of these, open it, and then whoever slammed it down or used a hammer on it was like, "Those are the ones we get rid of." Okay.
So, is there a way you could not fondle the very existence of creation? Could we put it away?
Did that happen?
Thank you.
You'll get it back, honey. You'll get it back.
Give it back to her.
You already took my snail. She took my rock. You guys are mean.
Can she have another one of
And
these?
you are reckless.
Absolutely.
still not the point.
Your
It's
world
all about the
is
bullet.
in ashes because of this thing.
Welcome to my daily weekend. Give me back my rock.
This ain't our worst Wednesday
Okay,
night.
I hate to. Maybe the magic users shouldn't be carrying something that could change the freaking world.
Yeah, I'm inclined to
No.
believe.
No.
Maybe I should hold
No.
Oh no,
Give
no,
it to
do
the
not give it to the
orc.
dryad.
It's
I don't
fine.
trust you either.
It's
No.
fine. It's just in my pocket.
Do it
It'll be
tomorrow.
fine.
So
That's true.
perhaps.
He doesn't have any magic, so maybe he should be the one carrying it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Being the last of his kind and all.
I mean,
Meteor.
But
Yeah,
your magic. It's responsible.
well, the question
for
is,
your
do we think
magic.
that this could cause a reversal? And the bigger question I have, you said you're this person we know, Jerry, the one that commands everything, has a creation stone larger than that one?
No, if he still has it, because he may have taken it from him when they abducted him.
It's possible, I guess.
But it could be how he became a bro.
Maybe. I don't know. This changes so much. A creation stone. It's gotta work.
You know, they didn't hide it very well if we were able to find it.
They hid it very plenty well.
But we were able to get it.
Yes. They did.
Accidents happen more than twice.
We're gonna do all our
Well,
accidents
this
over
one
again.
is from that sandstorm that they sent after us.
That's
So what do you think we should do once we get back? What do we do once we get back?
I think
To change things.
Rescue Jerry?
But
Or
it's very
prevent
nice of
him
you,
from
Willow.
being.
I think you need to acquire both creation stones. And you need to figure out a way to prevent the event from happening again, which means the destruction of the creation stones.
You know what? You don't have digestion.
How do you destroy them?
Don't know.
Are you putting them together?
You'll have to figure that out.
Because they did seem to respond when they got
They
close
did want
each
to
other.
come close to become, they did want to become one.
There's a possibility there's more than the two, too, because why would they send one after the other? That doesn't make any sense. The guy didn't seem very strong either.
Creation stones are the fragments or remnants of what we call primordial titans. Creatures that came into existence around the period of founding, the creation of
One that they
Exandria
were
itself.
attacking?
The one that was in Vasselheim?
The one on
Or the primordial titan that was made Vasselheim?
Or
the
both. Maybe they were
one
both
that-
Titans.
I didn't even think about that. What about the crystals that I took from the Titan?
Well, pull out the crystals that you took from the titan. What do they look like right now?
They just look like inert crystals.
I don't think it's the same thing.
So into it.
Allow me to see one of those stones for a moment. He takes it from
it's
your
on
hand.
it's glowing now.
You watch as he closes his eyes for a moment, and then the stone fills with a small amount of arcane energy, and he hands it back. These are power stones. These are stones used to convert arcane energy for ships to use for power.
It was harvested out of a giant's head.
I'm not shocked. Very powerful magical beings have an origin to their story. If these creation stones are what I suspect them to be, your friend Jerry was originally sent here to look for the stone. I think it's a remnant of the creation of Exandria. Exandria was created by primordials. My suspicion is the Grey created the primordials to form the world. They were then going to harvest the world. But the primordials and the Grey didn't count for one thing: divination, divinity, divine interaction with the greater universe, as they might say.
Well, Jerry did keep saying that he was making fun of my
Oh
gods.
my god.
The Grey are not innately divine. You do not believe in all series of creators and all-knowing things. That much we do know for certain.
And magic's pretty funny, too.
Depends on your perspective. But if you're Jerry, yes, it is.
It's hilarious.
So, that being taken into account, where's Melora and the rest of them now? In this hellscape.
Don't know. Divine magic doesn't really work here anymore. When it does, it's so erratic, it's quite dangerous to use.
It has its own wild magic table even.
Just touch my hair. What happened to my conch?
Well,
It stopped working.
I am going to introduce you to Xantar. He will guide you on how to operate your ship.
Do you have any idea how we would destroy creation stones?
I do not.
I don't think we should.
They are older than even I am, unfortunately.
Maybe if we break it up into a bunch of tiny pieces.
Maybe if we make a wish on it, it'll just.
Well, we rude. How old are you?
I am over 2,600 years old.
Oh, because the last dragon wasn't during our time, or a year ago. And the last dragon weren't seen in almost 200 years.
Yes, after the Chroma Conclave made its incursions into Amon, the few remaining metallics and chromatics that survived Thordak's rule went into hiding. I never came out when Thordak ruled. I did not feel that I possessed the power to deal with him at the time, therefore I stayed and remained hiding. After the Sundering, I spent the better part of many months looking for my own kind, and that's when I found this fragment of the old world, the old Issylra world. Gathered up those survivors I could, established sanctuary, and we used this place as a way to gather up lost individuals that needed to find a way off this world. As far as I know, this is it. This is all that's left. Oh, even jumps. What'd you hit him with?
And with a cow.
You hit him with a cow?
Pretend we were asleep first.
I don't know where it went. Don't have a cow, man.
That man's been driving a lot, man. Give him a break.
Yeah.
He wants to catnap. Let him catnap.
Traveled over 2,000 miles. in the
Once
last
again, he failed the orc
4
test. One of the reasons why he's the last one.
Not entirely sure why that tabaxi just threw a cow at him, but
We
maybe
gave him a
it's-
10-question test, and he fell asleep at question number 2.
We literally.
We gave him a primordial stone, and he threw it on the ground.
where'd
and
it
threw
go?
It's under the table.
Oh, what is it? A cow? Cow? Oh, it's a. What is that? One of
No, it's my cow.
Sebastian's? Oh, it's your cow.
Yes.
It's your cow with a blowjob face.
Yes.
Definitely is your cow.
Oh, I hit on my
Yeah, we literally
It didn't
went
hurt.
up Thursday, dropped stuff off, came back Saturday.
Oof. What? So you got sleep Friday and that was it? It's a long haul, man. That'd be like driving to Vancouver, spending the night, getting up, and going back.
And I'm doing it again tomorrow.
And the fuel cost and time is about what it would cost just to buy new shit. So why move it? A can of gas and a lighter and problem solved.
Hey, I like my old shit the way it is.
Well, this
That's how I-
last
that's
one
how
was
I
bringing
read.
his motorcycle up. So.
Well, that's a little different. That's a cost.
Just rent a pod and have it
Right.
sit up there.
What's the dude's name?
That was a suggestion.
Quelf.
of mine, but
The guy he's introducing us to?
You could call him Zan for short.
Zan?
Zan's the man.
Teach us how to do this so we can get back and get going on
So
this.
this guy's kind of useless to us. Should I just give it to
Oh,
him?
do you have a bunch of money or something we can have so that when we go back we have some money? You have some. I don't have any.
You are a part of our group.
Do you have some old gems you don't use anymore? 'Cause there's no thing to buy here or anything.
Scale?
You know, it's all trade now. It's all hunting and gathering now.
She
again,
wants
I'm
your
sure, right?
sheds.
No, you cannot have my scales. They're mine. They belong to me.
You have some old gold that you don't use
You
anymore
know, there
because
used to be a
everything's
fish
belts.
that was very selfish. It was a rainbow fish.
Wow. Oh my gosh, did you just bring up that book?
This is
All-
what happens
all-
when you don't play for 2 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
It all goes to hell.
It's been 3 weeks.
3 weeks. It all goes to hell. See, I don't even remember.
It's
This
literally
is what happens when I have to read stories to your son.
Yeah, it's been a month.
That's fair.
It's been a month.
Yeah, it's been a month.
Yeah,
3 days.
jeez.
So the 15th.
Sorry, I'm on the I'm on the love tour right now.
The SCA Love Tour.
Yeah, I'm on the Summer of Love
Oh,
tour.
war schedule.
6 wars down,
4 to go.
4 to go.
Are you going to do Gulf Wars?
Oh no.
Yeah, that's a Gulf
West End
Wars.
Tier is the farthest we're going.
Gotcha. Doing it mostly because, Yari's not getting any younger.
So what is Zan?
We're gonna do it as long as we can do it.
Yeah.
Until we're too old to do it.
Beauty of being retired.
Yeah.
Is he a three-eyed monster? Is he?
Zan is totally a 300.
Oh, eventually Zan comes in. Imagine an upright praying mantis. They are red and green in coloration. He does not speak a vocalized language. It comes across as clicks and clacks. But
He's got a communicator or something.
he does have a language glyph, comprehend language glyph that allows him to be understood. So you'll always hear a bunch of clicking and clacking, but then you'll hear the translation of his ability to speak. It just kind of sounds very monotone when he speaks. Oh, Zan, good, you're here. I'd like to introduce you to the Destroyer of Worlds. Yes, this group right here. The
Sounds like a
huge insect-like creature, the Threen, comes in. That was not a very funny joke, Quelf. They look very despondent about destroying the world. I think it's safe to assume that they are very, very sorry.
I'm pretty sure
Ha,
I had
ha.
to shoot it. I had to
Ha
shoot it.
ha. Ha ha. He's not very good at sarcasm. comes across very strange.
Willow, we found your brother.
You're gonna
My
love her.
brother?
No.
Well, anyways, if you will go and get your ship, bring it up. There's an entrance point at the very top of the fortress. Land it up there. Zan here will guide you on how to properly use the vessel.
I feel it's very important that we go together just in case something happens.
Oh, I'm staying here.
Do we want to give him?
I advise whoever has the primordial stone does not travel in the ship. As the ship travels, power will continue to
Yeah.
go into the
Give
stone.
it to him.
Do not give it back to Bella.
She rolls it. She rolls it across the table. She rolls it across the table as this table starts like spinning, and,
Yes, it's
vibrating up, and starting to make a monster.
somewhere like a microverse just came into existence, spins off into the ether.
Land of Exandria. See, we did create a world. The end.
It is now afternoonish. What would you guys like to do?
No, I will give it back.
Reverse time.
I'm gonna go back and
We want to reverse time.
Ivory and I are gonna go back and get the ship.
I'm going to try
Okay.
to find out as much as I can about the Savalier wood and anything about what I
A
am,
little more heavier.
and hopefully I don't forget it.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
So you want to try to track
Especially
down while you're here?
black, so it looks like a void.
Don't
Yeah,
know
white magic.
anyone.
There's a purple set of this.
So
Give me an
You could
investigation
ask-
check as you wander the fortress.
You can ask
Trying to
them
figure
if
out what to do.
somebody can help you.
Ivory and Jade have gone to retrieve the ship. You are in possession of the primordial stone. Zephora and Scarlet and Belle, what do you want to do until Jade gets back?
Mine is black too.
I want to kind of.
She has green. You have red.
6? Okay.
Purple.
I'm itching to spar with somebody, so I'm gonna see. But if any of the centaurs want to spar,
Give me a persuasion check as you wander about.
I'm kind of confused
I'm
about
gonna
what
see
I am.
if
I'm not
they-
in a sparring mood.
I'm going to ask the dragon if they have anything that could possibly go back with us that might assist us
20? Okay.
in dealing with our enemies and such.
Maybe the collar is the illusion magic.
So we'll say you track down Quelf like after the meeting and you're having a separate conversation with him. Willa is wandering the fortress city, just trying to kind of like deal with everything that's kind of like come, into reality. She finally thinks or believes she might be revealed as to what she might actually be. Scarlet is looking to take out her angst and emotion in a sparring contest. Meanwhile, Marrow has the possession of the primordial stone. Anything you want to do while you're waiting for Jade and Ivory to return? Suddenly a vortex begins to grow near the bathroom.
He places it on his
Better
forehead.
not be tea.
Super orc.
As a giant world of orc shit comes into existence. The origin of the spontaneous orc.
If we roll the 1 to 100, it's like what
Touches it
world
to
would
his
you
skin.
make?
50 orcs fly out of his forehead. I repopulate this land.
So as the rest of you are wandering about this fortress city, Jade, you and Ivory make it back to the ship relatively easy. It's still pretty well disguised. You notice this time when you begin to interact with the ship, it's much more stable. It's less erratic. You notice that when you attune to the helmet and you feel the helmet dial into the vessel,
And have a necklace on.
No PTSD.
it attunes to you more clearly, more specifically. And the vessel itself feels more stable, more powerful than it's felt before. Almost like it's not suffering from a power drain.
Primordial stone was great.
How are we going to take the primordial stone back?
We're going to use it.
Oh,
We're
we
gonna
have
use
to
it.
because we have to use it for the void ship or void moon. Okay, right.
Go ahead and expend a single spell slot of your choice to manage and pilot the ship.
Do you have any left hands left? Or we did.
Yeah, we took a
So you
little
told
We
you not
only
to
used
cast
one.
So they shouldn't cast that light spell.
It was a cantrip.
Yeah, still.
You know what cantrips are, right? You
It's
can cast them
spells.
over and over and over.
You know what cantrips are? I mean, I'm woman-splaining you.
Yeah, are you trying to? Are you trying?
I'm
to
Jade-splaining.
explain something
Yes,
to me?
it's tabaxi
No, I'm good,
splaining.
thank you. I'm
She's
Jade-splaining.
She's Jade splaining.
Before long, you're traveling with the vessel away from the edge of the preserve. You get up to the entrance point of the highest point of the cliff, and sure enough, there's an area where you can bring the ship in. You see 3 or 4 other ships that look very similar to yours, but you fly the ship like down to the landing point, and you land, and there's lots of strange like individuals that are wearing pilot suits. Oh, thanks for the raid, New Age Geeks. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very, very much. As you land the vessel, you take the helmet off, the jammer helmet goes back to normal, and you come off the vessel. Yeah, I mean, and as you come off the vessel and into the bay, so when you realize you're in the landing bay of the Dreadnought that is like buried into the side of this cliff, you kind of look around. There's other vessels here, people wearing these leather jumpsuits that you don't necessarily recognize. They're wearing either different colored chevrons or different emblems on their vestments to kind of, but the one thing that you recognize is that they all have this kind of swagger, this look about them, and they watch you come off the void ship, and they just stare at you with a sense of awe. And this mouse folk comes over, and he's got his jammer helmet underneath his arm and walks up to you. So, that's a void ship. But you're not a mechanics. Where'd you get that?
Stole it.
Spoils the war.
All right. Good on ya. And you just watch as the mouse folk just kind of gives you that little pink thumbs up as he walks away. His tail kind of curved up, a strange tattoo of a pirate on his ass as he walks away from you. Space pirates. He finally transcended.
All right.
Ah, got a voice ship there, huh? Yeah, it's nice.
I closed the doors to the walk.
Yeah, right. You get up to the wall, it's gone.
Uh-huh.
That would just be Tobias's thing. We need to get on that ship to save the. Where'd the ship go?
I'm gonna leave Ivory here.
Ivory just licks her lips.
You see like a key with a tabaxi paw on it, and it's going on his old ship, which is a clunker.
You're leaving Ivory on the void ship? Okay.
Yeah, because we have a fuck ton of treasure on me.
You do, yeah, there is.
Close the door.
And like as you're walking out, you kind of come over to this metal disc that sits in like this mine shaft or this open area, and you watch as a few people stand on it, and it descends. And as you're looking over the edge, you feel someone kind of grab you and pull you back. You want to be careful. It's a long way down. And you look over to see this hippo-looking creature talking to you. Big hippo head, but humanoid body. And hello, my name's Jeffries. Good to meet you.
Hi.
You're a tabaxi, aren't
Yep.
you?
Yep.
Interesting. Didn't know you were much for astral sea faring. You guys tend to be more on the ground, right?
We went on the ground.
Sort of, you know what I mean. Not much for piloting, but you seem to handle that vessel pretty well.
Thanks.
Came from the preserve. Fascinating. And then the metal disc reappears. You going down to the bottom level, or where are you going?
I think I'm supposed to wait here for someone. Zan?
Oh, Zan.
Zan.
Yes, we call him Cricket for short.
I don't think Cricket is short.
Rickety
for Zan.
Cricket.
I know it's a joke. I'm practicing my humanoid humor. I don't know it very well. They call it sarcasm.
Man, I would get along so well here.
So, anyways, well, I have to go and. Anyways, good day.
Good day.
Jeffries kind of steps onto
Make sure I still have my helmet.
With people.
he steps on the disc and it descends down. Jeffries descends down into the tube. The Jeffries tube.
Just surprised you didn't make him a giraffe.
Gifts are real creatures in the astral sea.
I'm not saying they're not, but Jeffrey the giraffe.
Well, that's a little too much on the nose. I thought Jeffries tube was pretty good.
All right, so
Ricky,
I'm gonna stay there because I'm watching my ship.
Okay.
And my treasure.
Yeah, you kind of linger in the background.
I watch.
You don't find any senators that necessarily want to spar with you, but this green, like light-skinned green, at first kind of elven looking, but they have this kind of twisted mustache that comes off their face. Their hair is braided down past their shoulder. They have kind of almost like lizard-like skin with kind of chameleon-like features as the Githyanki individual sees you wandering around offering up a sparring opportunity. I would be glad to spar with you. Not much of a fight in any of these docile creatures here. You're nowhere around. You're off wandering. What is your name? Sylvan. Scarlet. You've got the air of a killer about you. Shall we spar, as you say? So as the two of you wander off to an open area, yeah, as you pull out your blades, he pulls out his blades. And for the next hour, you have the most intense, non-sexual workout you've ever had in your life. You're covered in small nicks and like scratches and points where blades barely touch each other. And the two of you like fall away to the ground, just breathing heavy, sweating, covered in like paper-like cuts on your body. And you just kind of, that was amazing. You are fast with those blades. I've never met their like before. And he kind of gets up and he puts his hand to pull you up to your feet. Ow. Okay, I probably deserve that. Oh. Anyways, would you like to go have a conversation?
Intercourse between two people.
And then the two of you kind of start wandering through the fortress city, exchanging mostly pleasantries. Yeah, and just kind of wiping, you're wiping off your arms and dabbing at the sweat and the cuts from all the activity that you... my name is Exorthi. You could call me Zor for short. Githyanki names are very difficult for non-Githyanki to pronounce. What is your name?
Scarlet.
Oh, that's right, you mentioned that. Well, you tossed me on my head. There was a moment there I forgot who I was when you tossed me on my head.
I have a tendency to do that.
You have very specific skills that I recognize. You are a hunter of people, are you not? Do you still exist in that service? Or are you retired?
Part of who I am.
Interesting. Are you still good at it?
I've only lost one so far, and it seems to have changed the world.
Ah, mistakes are what they are. Us Githyanki, we used to roam the astral sea and wage war across so many worlds. That was until the Grey came. They came with so much power, so much magic that we didn't understand. We couldn't stop what they did to us.
Did you try?
Oh, we died trying. By the thousands, we died trying. During our travels, we sought the guidance of a star. The star had a name. It was called the Hadar. A great expanse. As some say it's an oracle. Some say that the creature that inadvertently made the star still lives within inside of it.
Was it part of the void?
No. We unfortunately found the void by accident while traveling to the star of the Hadar. This void consumed our vessels, spat us out onto this desolate, dead world. We found this space of weaklings, but it allowed us to regroup, gather what few of us that are left. We are of a mind to try to take what has been taken from us. You wouldn't happen to know how to pilot a dreadnought, would you? Damn.
I don't have the magical ability.
Do you know of anybody that has piloting skills that might be friendly to our cause?
Not entirely.
He puts his hands behind his back and starts walking away and looks back over his shoulder at you. Well, if you could think of anybody, let me know. Excellent sparring with you. Maybe we'll do it again tomorrow. And he just kind of wanders off into the crowd.
Find me in the courtyard.
Hmm?
You can find me in the courtyard again.
Of course. Just smiles and keeps walking. Well, you've been walking the inner fortress now for a while.
And I
This-
see with eyes that are weird.
Yeah, it's like you see people, you see things, you see like there's like little kiosks set up around where people are selling goods and food, and you see this strange lizard creature selling an assortment of insect pies that people are coming over and buying. More versions of the threen that you saw earlier. Gatherings of mouse folk and harrigans, and finally you feel something tugging at your elbow. You look down to see this very young harrigan, only about 2-3 feet tall, probably the equivalent of like a 10-year-old, 11-year-old. Looks up at you with these ears pulled back and these big bunny-like eyes, and wearing kind of like simple clothing.
I kneel down, so I'm at eye level. Hello.
Yeah, hi. Wow. Are you like a plant?
Not sure anymore.
But you're like covered in flowers and leaves and stuff.
Yeah. I grow her. I see if I can grow her. Still grow a flower.
You twist and a flower blooms out of your hand. Oh. Wow. Looks around. Don't take this the wrong way. Do you taste good? And you not watch as he starts nibbling on the flower. And then consumes the flower.
I don't know.
And it's like, and as you're having this conversation out of the corner of your eye, you can see dozens of harrigan just kind of staring at you. They're like licking their lips. Their little teeth are like chittering as they stare at you.
Like, I'm not sure if I taste good, but I know people taste good.
Give me intimidation with that one.
I have no charisma.
I know.
How about like the other one that the termites?
So
bunnies,
he's
right?
decided that she's
Bunnies.
tasty.
13.
13. Oh. So you eat people.
Sometimes. When they make you mad.
I'm gonna go let them. You're right. Bye. Thanks for the flower. He like starts running away, and he runs over to the crowd of harrigan, and they all like you can hear them talking their language, and they all look up at you at the same time,
I'm just smiling.
and they all just kind of casually start walking away in different directions, like. They just start whistling and walking off and paying you no mind.
See, the funny thing is, normally something like that, an interaction like that would have been completely clueless to her. But she's has identified as a tree for most of her existence, and she knows what rabbits and such do to plants. You know.
You
So
look
she
pretty
has
scrumptious to them.
She has a small hate.
I mean, you're looking around, and other than the occasional like cliff vine that's growing, There's not a lot of vegetation here, and most of the vegetation you saw in the preserve looked kind of toxic and noxious.
I thought that was at the lake, but where we were when we landed
You're-
the ship was
It
better.
was green.
Yeah, but it's like a gradual expanse of toxin. So like when you came out of the preserve into this sanctuary area,
It was still starting to creep.
yeah, I mean you like came out of a place that's gradually being polluted by the Borkons that are like destroying Exandria. So like these are people that haven't seen like their natural environment for almost a year. To see someone like, you know, Willa just standing there. I mean, basically it's like a salad on feet. You know.
Will that
That
clue to
salad
me?
bites back.
Will that clue to me that these people might be starving?
It's not that they're starving. They definitely have enough food. It's kind of living off Doritos for 11 and a half months.
So starving?
And then, no, they taste great until you see an apple. You know, it's just that feeling of they're getting enough to stay alive, but they're not in their natural environment. They're not getting what they used to get in their natural
Getting
environment.
gruel, but your candy.
Yeah.
Is there any people in charge? Would I know where to wander back to talk to them about?
I mean, so far the only people that you've gathered that are in some semblance of charge, although this, once again, this feels more like a refugee center than like an organized community. There's a sense that Quelf is probably the person in charge, or at least guiding. There was the Silver Dragonborn that you spoke with that might be in charge of the Senator guards that manage the sanctuary and protect it. But that might be it from a standpoint of people in charge.
Can I find one of them? Because I want to ask them a question.
Okay, give me an investigation check as you go looking for them.
I'm not smart or charismatic. Oh, but that's not a bad roll. Nice. Okay. Investigation. It's 19.
19. You eventually wander back down below where you had gathered with Quelf previously. Who was wandering with Quelf? You were?
Well, yeah. It was,
Yeah. So as you go looking for him, and you've just finished up your sparring, Maro, you're still lingering with the primordial stone. Just probably wondering why there's no taverns or places to grab a drink. What are you doing this whole time, Bella?
I figured during this time that I can actually get in touch with magic again, and probably summon my guardian. Kind of see if I can, like, if it's still like, is it gonna freak out? I'm just like,
I mean, you summon it, comes back into existence, and it's stable again. It's not, it didn't cause any erroneous, like, wild magic effect. And every time you use magic, you notice the stone that you carry around your neck flares.
I'm still gonna see if I can. I wanted to still try to, if it can, like, I'm gonna give it like little bits of the ship that we found, like the metal bits, and see if it can actually digest it or like if it can absorb it.
I mean, give me a persuasion check for starters.
If I do. 19 on 1. And persuasion, so 19, 20, 21.
Now give me Arcana with advantage.
Because I was like, Arcana, I don't think I have. No, I do not have, but I will. And Arcana 17?
17. You spend the next hour slowly convincing your guardian to absorb the little bits of ship that you gathered. There's a strange connection between, like, every time it absorbs it, your magic gets this arcane boost, like a pulse of energy each time. It's interesting. Your magic actually gains a little bit of power.
Because I figured it wouldn't be enough to really give it a form or anything, but just enough to kind of like see what like little results we would have. That's why I wouldn't give it so much, because I don't want it to like overload.
That's fair. That's fair. So with sparring, discovering new people, Willa wandering the inner fortress, Morrow in possession of the primordial stone, and our dwarf friend there getting back in tune with their magic, you're having a conversation with Quelf. Jade has returned the ship to the docking platform up above in the cliffs. Yes, what can I do for you?
Well, we're going to go back and try to save this rock. Do you have anything that could help us defeat our enemies?
I'm not entirely sure that going back is a true solution to the problem.
Oh, we can stay here and not risk it?
If this is the outcome that some of you have desired, then you may stay. The creation stones are erratic, strange things. Whether or not you and your friends taking the creation stone or primordial stone back through the void gate will undo or project you back to a point of time that you choose to focus on. And once there, a decision has to be made, right? How do we destroy these stones so they can't be used again? More importantly, if there's two of them, how do you destroy them? Because we've never interacted or dealt with primordial stones before, I don't entirely know the answer to these questions. What I can tell you is I don't know if this world was meant to be destroyed. Even now, the Grey, up on the astral chunk of the remains of the Shadow Moon, plot their next movement towards another world that will be consumed by this. And that's what they do. They go, they search, they study, they consume. They go, they search, they study, they consume. Destroy all things. Another possibility you might ask yourself. Can these stones be used to destroy the Grey? And finally put an end to this madness? Does the journey backwards offer the best opportunity? Or does this time now give you the best opportunity to destroy the Grey? You get the feeling that he's speaking more open to you than he was back in the chamber. The chamber, his conversation was more rooted in saving the world. But here, speaking with you one-on-one, you're not so sure that that's his main concern. And with that, we're going to finish a little bit early tonight because Sanctuary is a milestone. So for those of you watching us for the first time, we do not do level ups. None of our characters have levels. None of our characters have traditional classes or subclasses. Basically, the players all wrote the stories of their characters. Their characters came into existence, and they've been traveling through this world ever since. And what we do is whenever we hit major points or major milestones in the adventure, they milestone. And what we do is we go around the table asking each other what they felt that their character had learned. We also take the time for them to roll their new hit die hit points that actually diminish with leveling. At the beginning, they start with a huge pool. As they get higher in power, the pool of hit points begins to diminish. So, who would like to start tonight? Jade? Is there a particular skill, ability, or something that you feel like Jade gift?
I think Jake's been using Arcana a lot with that stupid ship. I mean, lovely ship.
I think she should be like an arcane master at this point. Jesus. Hey, you said we could all argue for or against her.
That's true.
I say no! She's done nothing.
She's been nothing but destroy worlds.
That's right. She was the cause of this whole thing. She didn't have that. Jerry wouldn't want to have left the group.
That's so not fair.
Wow, I just heard the bus wheels go clunk, clunk, clunk,
Jerry was supposed to originally be my pet, and it didn't work, so I got another one.
So, if you think you've improved Improved around Arcana. How do you think that would affect your character? Other than give your neighbor gas.
I already have advantage on my Arcana.
No, I mean, I'm not sure.
Get advantage on my magic.
Do you have any spells that you'd like to advance in, maybe? Since you've been more attuned and like had a natural affinity towards your spell use?
Well, mostly I use the
Destroy magical stones.
could do the force arrows, my cantrip force arrows.
You've also flown the ship a lot.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I was saying the ship.
Ship
Yeah.
piloting. She's done a lot of it.
Are we gonna keep the ship?
Durr.
Durr.
You need particular proficiency in piloting all vehicles, which would be great.
No, not all vehicles are created
All
equal.
vehicles, all
I'm okay if you wanted to become a intermediate in astral piloting.
Intermediate and astral piloting.
Yeah, if you wanted to use that, because that'd be tied directly into your arcane skill.
Okay.
I think that'd be a good one that you could get out of this milestone.
Because I mean, I think that's pretty much what she's been doing most.
Everybody roll 3d6, re-roll any ones, and that is added to your hit point pool.
Oh my god, look.
What'd you get?
3 sixes.
Nice. 18 more hit points to your hit point pool.
13, 2 5s and a 3.
Okay, so intermediate astral piloting,
Correct.
and it does what?
It gives you proficiency in small astral vessels, and it gives you advantage whenever you're studying the ability to pilot any vessel.
Small,
it's right there.
astral vessels.
And it gives you advantage when
I
studying
swear I saw you.
any astral vessel.
Advantage.
All right, Sephora, what do you think would be your milestone event this time around?
I don't go back with them and I take off in the starship.
Oh my goodness, you got 3 5s.
Nice.
I
You
ditched
become
this.
proficient in gerrymandering?
I ditched the group. They're holding me down.
Don't doubt that.
Group ditching at the advantage.
Oh, I got.
I kind of feel like you've become pretty.
Yeah.
I got 2 5s.
I want to give you a crime boss skill. Like I feel like you're kind of becoming either really good at like
Like my second.
well, no, I mean like I think you and Scarlet work well together because you both your minds are in that same kind of shadowy space. I think a good skill related to investigative abilities, right? Something that would enhance investigation for you. Like the ability to read people. Like an intuitive skill of some sort. Or you could take,
Okay.
we'll build you a feat called intuitive feat.
Detect bullshit.
Yeah, like we'll give you intuitive feat,
Okay.
which gives you advantage on insight checks and gains you a proficiency advantage on investigative checks, unless you already have one.
Hang on a second. Let me look. I gotta do my hip points.
Okay.
3d6, but not plus the con.
No bonuses for con. Yeah, correct.
And then do I do that for Ivory as well?
Yes. Yes.
What was 137?
So Scarlett, what do you think your milestone would be with everything that's been going on?
Oh, okay.
No,
I'm
I rolled for shit.
looking at what I have here.
And you can also enhance what you have as well, if you choose to. Like, I kind of feel like you've been doing a lot of sparring and a lot of physical activity.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, you could increase your dex by 1 as your natural kind of like improvement with sparring and physical activity and being in more kind of like fights and other activities that you've been doing.
Increase it. Yeah. My dexterity is 6 right
No, it's higher than a 6.
now. Or is it? Oh, but plus 6.
So you're already, what's your dex at then? 19 or 20?
Where is that?
Well, your dex is right there. Right there. Second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 19.
19. So if you
So plus 4. So
I think if you up it to a 20, it becomes plus 5. Yeah.
That would seem appropriate for her.
So Willa, you gain the wild magic stone. So you're now able to change in between your, not only your dryad form, but your tree form. You still possess all the abilities that your previous tree form could possess, but you have to be in that tree form to do it. Between the last time you milestone and now, what do you think?
I was actually just looking at the monster dryad bit, see if I could do something with that.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think?
I would like, because the dryad has an 18 charisma, right?
They are considered incredibly charismatic creatures. And I feel like your memory loss is the reason why your charisma is so subdued. Like you don't actually remember your dryad purpose.
They're not very strong.
They're not very strong. So it's also
I'm wondering if it can be kind of like I put that crown on and it almost reverses those two stats, my strength and my charisma.
Oh, I love that idea. So every time you're in dryad form, your strength drops and your strength and charisma swap every time you're in dryad form. I love that. That's a perfect milestone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as I was looking at the fate chart,
Yeah.
like
No, I love it. That's great. Bella, I think you've been dabbling a lot in necromancy lately.
Yeah, I was gonna go dip into some necromancy stuff out here.
So, of those spells you've been studying, which spell do you think you would have learned during that time? Raise Dead, maybe?
Raise Dead, the skull's still in my pocket.
That was
That's Speak with Dead. That one you already have because you learned it in your pre-milestone condition.
Does they have a special name so I can write it down, right?
Just call it a wild magic stone. Yeah.
Insight, and you said what else?
God damn.
Insight and investigation.
Investigation.
What? We'd be
Yeah,
at what,
okay, I could
3?
do that.
Are we at 4 or 5 on spells? What would you say?
Say that again.
Are we at like level 3, 4?
Level. We don't do level ups. So spells get more powerful if you choose to enhance your spells through milestones.
Okay.
Look at all of the spells.
I was looking at animated dead.
So you already have speak with. Can you influence the dead?
Well, to make it animated, basically.
I would do animate dead.
I was like,
Animate Dead would be a lot of fun.
yeah, I think it would
Okay.
be a lot of fun.
So you learn the Animate Dead spell. That'll be your major milestone. Mara, what do you think your major milestone would be?
I have no idea.
That is an excellent. You have gain advantage in blank looks.
Well, let's see.
Stoicism.
I think his intimidation should go up.
Yeah, I think between what was going on in Vasselheim and then the eventual journey forward in time, and I would say intimidation. What do you think?
What if being in this area? What if his tattoos magically appeared?
Can his intimidation be influenced by his strength?
Oh,
instead of
hey,
his
I know what
charisma?
can happen.
Ooh, I like that idea.
I got a good one.
I didn't
What's
know.
that?
What was that?
His intimidation
We'll call
can be
it-
influenced by his strength rather than his charisma.
We'll call it the last
I like
of its
that one.
kind feature.
Ooh, yeah, I like
Where
that.
The orc
trait.
god,
But we're going back.
where I know,
But it doesn't make any difference. It's up to this point.
The orc god, knowing that he is the last orc,
Ooh.
imbibes him with orcish power.
So you have a new
Yeah.
trait called Last of Your Kind. And whenever you invoke Last of Your Kind,
And his tattoos are
and
you can
every
touch
time
the
he invokes,
tattoos to do different things.
oh, I love that. Yeah. And because you're the last of your kind, the tattoos that tell your tribal story allow you special abilities as a bonus action. So one tattoo could be an extra attack. Another tattoo could be,
Absorb damage.
could be an extra action surge, or you know what I mean?
Mode.
Ooh, I love that. So we'll come up with a last of your kind trait, and we'll say, although that intimidation strength swap for charisma, I like that one too.
You know what it could be is almost like a,
Maybe
almost
we
like
could write that
a,
down too, just for.
almost
Well,
like an
being a half orc, he's
inspiration
already
die,
got indomitable,
Yeah,
so
like
he
a
can
D-
always come back up from 0 hit
but like
points.
a D20 inspiration, and then he could just say, "I want to try to do this," and then
Ooh, I like that.
right,
Your last of your kind trait is almost like lucky feet.
yeah,
Like you get you can re-roll a single d20 whenever you invoke Last of Your Kind once per day.
Or have
I love
you
that.
roll like an attack die on it or something. Anything. Like
Yeah.
within reason.
Right. Well, we want to give it some boundaries.
No.
You gotta give it a little bit of
Get rid
boundary.
of the boundaries, man. We got levels, bro.
You can always up it at the next milestone.
Hey, whatever.
Sure,
Yeah.
make a joke about that. There's like a people ask the kind with
Hey, if
my
you don't
dog,
ask,
just
you
all
don't
like,
So, yeah, write it down
you
as,
raise the dead.
You have a new trait called Last of Your Kind because you've learned that you're last of your kind. And then once per day, you can re-roll any d20 of your choice. Whether it's a save, an attack, anything. You can re-roll it once per day.
Once for 24 hours or once for long rest?
Once per long rest.
Oh, I get dwarven toughness
Once
this
per
time.
constitution
Yes.
bonus.
For every
What's your constitution?
Thank you everybody for coming out, and I want
He
to
laughs at me.
give a shout out to New Age Geeks. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for joining us in our studio. We should be here tomorrow night, correct? For Shattered Kingdom, The Adventures in Kalasha. We'll be here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for our next live game.
We are still looking for another player, though.
We are looking for another player in our Tuesday night game. So if you are in the Riverside, Temecula area, hit me up and be happy to talk to you about one of our open seats. Our Tuesday night table meets every Tuesday night. Monday night meets every Monday night when we can. We do have 2 Sunday games that play remotely. One is called Adventures in the Undermountain, as well as A Fool's Errand. However, they are off this weekend because Sunday is Father's Day. And I think I might invoke a Father's Day gift this weekend. A one-shot on Sunday, perhaps. So we might think about that as well.
Can it just be against a bunch of dads?
But in...
I have no Sunday game.
Oh, good.
Joke.
Yep.
So in 2 weeks, because a couple of our players will not be present, we are going to be doing a one-shot in 2 weeks. And we're going to be running our first Candela Obscura case. And if you haven't seen anything about that, go check out Darrington Press. It's a really cool system. And other than that, you know what? Everyone, please be safe, be kind. Don't forget to play a game. It's important. And we will see you all tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.